Just two spoon, you ain't know. If the children crying for starvation, just two spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, two spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, two spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just two spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, two spoon. Two spoon. Two spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, two spoon. Two spoon. If you eat kepan, gradually, my brother, two spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, two spoon. Two spoon. You wanna get a news update, two spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today? Spoon TV. Yes, what you about today? Spoon TV. Spoon. Bada 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 bada. Skiddy biddy biddy da bado.
Yes, a special one from the CEO, Stan coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Moravia. Spoon gonna tell you.
Okay, Spoon is going to tell you what's happening in Liberia, what's happening in Monrovia, what the trending issues are, what are the issues making it up in the news every single day. I'd like to say welcome. Thanks for joining us again on another edition of the program. This is Spoon Talk. We're back on the radio. Thanks to all of you across the world for joining us. As usual, we're live across the Spoon Network, Spoon FM 107.5, Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5 FM. Many thanks to our partner radio stations across Liberia that are always relaying this program. Thanks to Trust FM in Bomi County. Thanks to Gibi FM in Kakatama, Gibi County. Thanks to Trend Radio in southeastern Liberia, that's Grand Creek County, and of course Premier FM in central Liberia, Bon County. Welcome. My name is Nelson Colette, and of course we're here again on another edition of this program. As you know, this is where Liberians gather every single day to get the news, to get to know what's happening in the country, to get objective analysis from the diverse panel that comes up on this show every single day. And the Spoon Talk happens to be that space that gives authentic information to Liberians across the world. And so I want to welcome you. Thanks for joining us tonight. First thing is, I will kindly ask you to help us share the show as you come on tonight. It's very important. Let's have a lot of people joining us because this is one edition of Spoon Talk you can't afford to miss. You're going to be served well prepared meal in terms of information and all of that right here tonight. So thanks again for joining us. Let me go in the background. I see Dr. Richardson is already here. She said, welcome to the show, Dr. Richardson. It's good to see you again, ma'am.
Nelson,
I see
hello,
you.
how you doing? I'm not muted.
Yes,
Let's have somebody muted.
no, it's okay now. I thought you were muted. I'm doing well, and I'm glad to see you. It's a good thing that you're back on. I think the last time I produced, you had some tight engagement. I think it was on Saturday when you had to rush back, to attend to other things. But it's a good thing that you're here tonight, Dr. Richardson. It's good to see you.
Good, good. Thank you, Nelson, for welcoming me again. It's good to be here. I want to echo what you said to Liberians to please share the show. Please like our comments, our thoughts to you, our suggestions to you. All of what you do make Spoon TV what it is, a Spoon Radio, Spoon Outlet, what it is, Spoon Media, what it is. So we want to just thank you for all that you do. Nelson, today was a good day over here. It's very hot. We are talking about close to 90 degrees over here.
Wow.
With very high humidity. The heat is a little different to me than it is in Liberia. Some people might feel like it's the same, but in Liberia, at least I can feel the breeze and don't feel the same intensity of heat. But over here, I mean, as soon as I'm outside, I'm already sweating and carrying on. So it's very, very hot. But with all of that, we want to give God the glory for a beautiful day to be able to wake up. You know, my grandson woke up today. He has this habit. He wakes up as soon as he sees daylight. He's like, it's daylight, mommy, it's time to wake up. And even like when I'm resting, sometimes I sleep a little bit. And he's like, mommy, you gotta get up, it's daylight. And then when the sun goes down, he wakes up and he's like, mommy, it's nighttime, right? It's nighttime. There's no sun. The moon is up. It's nighttime. So it's time. So he knows the difference. So today he started asking what today was whose birthday. And today there's nobody's. He knows his birthday is not today. But he said, mommy, today's whose birthday? I'm like, I don't know. I'm sure it's somebody's birthday. But then I said, you know what? Today is God's day, and you woke up this morning and you can breathe, you can enjoy the day. So today is God's day. So he's like, yeah, mama, today is God's day. He calls me, mama, today is God's day, right? So you gotta have answers, man. For that age, 3.5 movement, you gotta have some real serious answer for them to stop asking you questions. So that's how my day is going.
Wow.
I'm self-caring, playing the grandma role, enjoying my day, having a quiet hot day. I'll be leaving early, but that'll be fine.
Okay. Wow. Well, here, we're in the rainy season now. The rainy season is picking up gradually. So it's been raining, but not today. I didn't take notice of that much of a rain situation. That's maybe a rain though, because when I left home this morning, went at the Capitol, so from around 12 p.m. I was indoor at the Capitol, for the Senate session and then confirmation hearing. So from 12 p.m. up to the rest of the day, up to 6 somewhere around 6 p.m. when everything got through. I didn't know what it was outside, but yes, we're in the rainy season, so usually there is this little bit of rain, little bit of sunshine, but we haven't had okay, so we've experienced one heavy rainfall that resulted to flooding and all of that, but since then it's been just drifting and not real, not that kind of heavy rainfall, but it will make the places wet and stuff like that. So it is expected that it will rain heavily, especially there are reports from the Environmental Protection Agency, the disaster management, and all of those people involved with the whole thing about climate change, the weather, making the necessary predictions. They are predicting that Liberia is going to see significant rainfall this year, and that we should brace ourselves for flooding as well. And that flooding is going to be heavy. Is going to be at another level this year for some reasons due to climate change. One of the reasons provided. So yeah, we can only brace ourselves as we try to make the necessary preparations for that. But everything is going on fine here, Dr. Richardson.
That's
The
good.
country is moving on
So
gradually.
that's great. So I'm looking at my phone, and my phone is predicting to me that it's cloudy in Monrovia. Today, high was
Yeah.
81 degree, and low is going to be 76 degree. It is now in Monrovia 79 degrees by 9 p.m. And you can tell me tomorrow if this is true. This is according to the meteorologist report here. By 9 p.m., they are calling for 50% rain. 10 o'clock, 10 p.m., 50% rain. 11 p.m., 55%. By 2 a.m. in the morning, we have to have 60% rain. Tomorrow, sunrise will be 6:39 a.m. and it is expected to rain tomorrow as well. Tomorrow is going to be a rainy day in Liberia. In fact, they are forecasting that we are going to see rain for the rest of the week in Monrovia. So it always amazes me how we can get the weather report over here. I have Liberia on my phone.
Yeah.
So yes, I usually
And it's
can.
interesting. It's
Mhm.
interesting the forecast how we'll sit now with the help of technology and um, artificial intelligence and education and everything that will predict what the weather will be like for the next maybe 1 week. Yeah, but in terms of the weather being having a cloudy weather here today, that's been the case. Though I wasn't out, like that. But I remember when I got out at around 6 p.m., I noticed that it was very cloudy. It wasn't that hot as it would be, especially around January or December or stuff like that. So yes, it's been a cloudy one as well here today, and I want to believe that it was drizzling at some point. Yes, and it's been that way. So that forecast is right. Yeah.
Yes. Oh wow. It amazes me. I'm just amazed by technology that I can sit here and know the weather in Liberia, like
Hmm.
ocean, the whole ocean, Atlantic Ocean away, miles and miles away. So I
Hmm.
have all the major cities that I travel to. I usually like to know the weather. Like when I'm in Liberia, I need to know, like, especially when I'm traveling to Liberia, what to dress, how to wear, or my traveling plans, like when from one county to the other, how things going to be, how the road's going to be. So that's what I use the weather for. So it's good. It's good that we can have technology to help us these days with the weather, especially for farmer. I'm into farming in my retirement years. So if you're a farmer, you need to know the weather. You need to know the weather.
Exactly.
How much rain. So that's one of my motivation. I'm retired. I'm going to be a retired farmer. So that's my last job before
Wow.
I leave this world.
Yeah, and I saw some of your videos, Dr. Richardson, when you came to Liberia, on the farm, and all of that. It's a beautiful thing because the environment is a whole different place all by itself. Even the air
Yeah.
you breathe in those areas is different. I remember there was this time when we had a trip somewhere. I think we were going to Ganta or something. So we drove at some point and then we decided to make a stop, I think, to check out on something. And then what I noticed was that the air around that environment along the highway, in the midst of the forest or whatever, but the air in that particular environment was totally different from what we breathe in here in Monrovia. And maybe it's because of the population and everything, but it was a whole different experience. And you wouldn't know until you find yourself in that environment, breathing in that fresh air to that extent, and then you want to compare it to where you came from, and you can really tell the difference. So the
Yes.
environment it's a whole unique one. Yeah.
Yes. And also for me, Nelson, it's the noise pollution. When I'm in Monrovia, I hear pim, 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 I hear a lot of like horns, I hear a lot
Mhm.
of noise. You get, people playing music, there's, church
Buy a
bell ring.
mini, buy a data, buy a mini.
There, orange, yeah,
The last
orange
person.
mini, no star mini, orange mini, no star mini. But as you move away from Monrovia, like when I'm on the farm, it is so peaceful and
Yeah,
quiet. I can't,
yeah.
I mean, I miss
So
that so
peaceful.
much, really
You only
quiet. I
listen to
don't,
the birds,
that's it, chirp.
and sometimes from a distance.
Yes, I miss listen to the birds, to the animals.
Yeah.
I can feel, when I was a young girl, my mother and I used to do a lot of walking, and my mother was so astute, and may her soul rest in peace. She grew up in this country and then returned to Liberia as well, but she could listen to whether river or creeks were in the area. And as a kid, I was so fascinated with that because I always remember, how does Mama know, when? But it's the sound, she would when walking, she's
Yeah.
like, stop, listen, and she can hear water, and she'll say, there's a
Mhm,
water in this area, and she'll be, let's go
mhm.
find it. And this was when we used to go on the farm, and she'll take me out of that. But it's amazing. So those are the things that you hear when you're away from the city. It's
Yeah.
peaceful. You don't hear the usual noise. But before we get into our routine and regular business of the Liberian people, which is discussing the politics of the day, I want to just welcome everyone again. And I also want to tell you about the Spoon Talk business. We are going to be airing again our third edition of Spoon Talk Business. We invite you to contact me, Miss TT. You can message me or actually contact Miss TT by WhatsApp. And I know she's on Messenger as well to let us know that you want to come on to promote your business. Thank you so much, Nelson. So Spoon Talk Business came out of the idea of not wanting to mix politics and business. It's always not good to do that. And so on this show that comes on 2 o'clock my time, 6 o'clock Liberia's time, we are asking you to come and promote your business, advertise your business, utilize the most popular, the most premier, the channel that everybody listens to, the show that everybody listens to. Come here and promote your business. We'll do that. If you come in, you bring your flyer, we'll post your flyer on our different mediums. You know that we have, different stations, and we
Yeah.
have different shows. So that's one of the contract that we're going to sign with you, is that we're at least going to air your business out on our different medium, and we're going to advertise it on Spoon Talk. Nelson, who produces a lot of times, will be able to do that in the beginning of Spoon Talk and also at the end of the show. So again, don't relax.
Don't miss.
Don't
Don't miss Spoon Talk business.
Yes,
That's
don't
the
miss
spot.
Food Talk business. Yes. So if you're into the hotel industry, come talk to Miss TT. If you are a politician and you have a business on the side, come and talk to us. It's going to be strictly business. We're not going to talk politics with you. If you're selling, a product in the country and you want to sell the best product and you want to add to your profit margin, let's get the sense of utilizing advertisement. A lot of people do that, marketing, as the people will call it. So come
Mhm.
into if you are NGO and want to promote something, want to promote like small business for women, and you want women to get involved, come here and definitely talk to us. We'll be able to put you on the air where you can sell your business. Last week we had Bloombank. One of the impressive thing about Bloombank, Nelson, that I keep on thinking about.
Mhm.
The guy was talking, and I finally put one and two together. He said, we don't have like these fancy office buildings. We have
Mhm.
agents. And our agents, their job is to go out to you and get you to sign up and do an account within the marketplaces of Liberia. And I thought, what a wonderful idea. I don't want my bank spending money on paying rent for these beautiful buildings for somebody sitting there all day. I would like
Mhm.
for you to rent like something small, like they rent a spot in a gas station or a business, or you'll be out just walking the streets asking people. That's the kind of bank that I want. So then my money will grow in other ways instead of using my money to pay your rent and add to your
Yeah.
whatever Yes, so let my money grow. So I keep on thinking about what a wonderful idea. So Bloomberg was here yesterday, and that's where I learned about what to do. So if you are watching and listening to us, check out Bloomberg as well. If you're looking for a bank to bank with in Liberia. So Nelson, go ahead.
Yeah, certainly. So we move to the updates now, right? And then
Yeah, do that, and then
and
if
then
we don't
take some
have people,
calls.
yes,
Okay, yeah. So let me try to get to some of the updates now. Well, there's a whole lot going on in the country. So, Dr. Richardson, you're aware that yesterday the political advisor to the president spoke on the issue of the buses that arrived in the country, and Liberians have been talking about that a lot. Just my own experience while I was driving here, just about a few minutes ago from the capital, I saw one of the buses. It's like yeah, it's like Liberians have already started enjoying those buses. I managed to have captured a video somehow, some way.
you're a true journalist. You're a true journalist.
I'm trying. I'm trying to get that little. It was just a short one because I was driving and stuff like that. But yes, the people are already using the buses now. I mean, they're enjoying it. So the
You saw
comfort and
you saw passengers riding them too, or
yeah.
people. Okay.
So what I saw was that on the NTA buses, usually you have people when the seating capacity is occupied, everything. So you have people standing as
Okay.
well. So
Yes.
there were people sitting in the bus, and there were some people standing as well. And
Already.
maybe this is part of the trial or testing, and everything that's going on. But it was a beautiful one to just see these people standing, commuting. Though we know that there is usually this constraint when it comes to especially people making their way home in the evening hours and stuff like that. But this is just one of the ways that people are getting to feel the impact of this. So yes, the buses are in. Okay, so this is just few seconds video. Yeah,
I really appreciate Spoon Talk when you guys can do those impromptu, you know, videos. So that's great. So we saw the buses. We here on Spoon Talk seeing the buses in action. At
yeah, the
least a
buses are in action. Yeah, they are in
Mhm.
action. But on the flip side, there are lots of issues making it up in the news, and the first one has to do with the the human rights community in Liberia. Um, they are mounting some pressure on the president following his decision to appoint Councillor Jonathan Masakwe as the executive director of the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Code in the country. They've cited so many reasons why they want the president to reconsider that decision, to take a 360 on that particular decision. So this is where we are, and these human rights organization or the human rights community has been at the forefront when it comes to advocating for this war and economic crimes code in the country. But this is where we are at this point, and they're coming in with some serious pressure on the president. Now, on the flip side, the health workers in Lofa County, they've been protesting, um, and they abandoned major health facilities in the county today. And their protest is due to the appointment of Dr. Raphael Shimavo, the county health officer. According to them, again, they want the president to revisit that decision, talking about the appointment of the county health officer. They don't want him. They don't think they can work with him, and so they want the president to revisit that particular decision. And so, yes, so these are some of the issues making it up in the news. Um, the Senate, the Senate, the Senate Committee on Public Works has been investigating this issue with the Public Works Minister and the 22.4 million situation, and they came up with their report. The committee reported to plenary today, and as part of their report, they captured that yes, the Public Works Minister apologized, and but in the midst of everything that happened, they pointed out the the attitude of the communications officer at the Ministry of Public Works. They said that while this investigation was going on, and even after the Public Works Minister apologized to them for the manner in which he proceeded with the contracts and everything that has to do with the 22 million, when one of their colleagues, Senator McGill, was on a local media addressing the issue, the communication minister called in, and in the words of the senators, he insulted the senator. So they had that captured in their report, recommending some serious punishment for the communication officer, recommending that he be suspended 1 month without pay, and that he be made to go back on the very medium where he insulted he used invectives on the senator, to go and apologize, and then after the 1 month, maybe he can be reinstated. But then there was a little debate on that. There were some of the senators who felt that the Senate is too big to be going after communication officers. In fact, recommending punishment for him would be like going against free speech, trying to deprive him of his right to speak out freely. They should rather be concentrated on bigger things than going after a communication officer. But again, there were back and forth. Some held onto the view that while it's true that freedom of speech is there, but it comes with responsibility, and the punishment could just be part of the responsibilities that the communication officer of the Ministry of Public Works, Benjamin Myers, will have to face. So there was some back and forth with respect to that, and yes, so that's how they went about. They
So did they come to a resolution? Did they figure out? Did they say what they were going to do or anything, or they just discuss sides of the issue?
Yeah, so they have a debate on the issue, and then at the end of the day, the presiding at the time, Senator James Barney,
Mm-hmm.
sent the issue to committee room that they will decide. They will make a decision on it.
Okay. So
Yeah,
okay.
following the report from the Public Works Committee. Yeah, so they will make a decision on it. Yeah.
I,
So yeah.
Justin, it would be interesting if we could play the tape of Benjamin Myers, what he said to Senator McGill, that Warren, them having this kind of committee discussion on whether he insulted or did not insult Senator McGill. So I don't know what he said, but it'll be interesting. But I can,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and we'll try to get a tape, because the report did not state verbatim as to what he
Mhm.
said, but
Mhm.
in a context, what they captured was that he said the senators are liars. That
Oh,
what
okay.
what he was saying was not true. It was
Mhm.
some lie. Something
Mhm.
associated with a lie. So they feel that someone who is being paid by the government, if it was someone from the market or just anybody or media person, yeah, they will not have problem. But someone who is in government employed, to be saying this about another high-ranking official of the very government that he's employed in was something that warrant some some action, to set deterrence.
I
Yeah.
have a different view. I
Yeah.
don't, I don't think that should matter whether you're a government official being paid by the government. I think they're interfering with freedom of speech a little bit there, but that's exactly how I feel. And the thing about it, because once you're in the business like this, if you're in government, you're in politics, people have the right to say whatever they want to say about you. So that why I would spend whole committee all day discussing when, to me, there's better things to discuss. There's more important things that are relevant to the Liberian people that they should be discussing it as to, what a who telling lie, who not telling lie, what a this person lie on the person mean, and what have you. So that's how I see it.
Yeah. Seriously, and that was exactly the position of some of the senators, like uh, Senator Daba Vapla of Grand Cape County. That was a position as well, that they have better things to talk about. Even Senator what's his name, Senator Yaya Nimle of Grand Julia County has similar view. That Senator Amara Kone likewise has similar view, that they should rather focus on some very important things than going
Absolutely.
after them. Because like Senator Daba, her own point was that the individual is a civil servant,
Of course.
and he falls within the executive branch of government, and
Correct.
there they have their
But
own ways as to how to go about prescribing
correct.
punishment for who did what. Yeah, and stuff.
Absolutely. So would it matter if he insulted somebody else, like a public citizen? Would it matter? Is it just because he so reportedly insulted McGill? And so to me, there's better things to talk about. Now, don't get me wrong, it does hurt. And everybody who watched, if you watch Spoon, that I've been a victim of allegations and lies and stuff like that. And it doesn't feel good, but that's the business that we're in. So, get back to doing the business of the Liberian people, as I've always gotten back to doing the business of the Liberian people are coming back to Spoon. There are different ways of handling this. Let the civil servant, if you don't like it, you can report him. I'm sure they report it to the public Ministry of Public Works. You can report him to the executive or committee and what have you, and let them handle it. Okay. I'm sure Mr. Myers learned, he would learn from this behavior. Every experience is a learning behavior. I mean, it's a learning lesson learned. It's a learning
Yeah.
experience. So, but that's important things for committees to discuss, for people, for our senators and legislators and lawmakers to be discussing. Liberia has a lot of important issues right now at hand that we need to talk about. So I'm not worried about that. you know, I'm not worried about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, certainly. And just on this one quickly, the former lawmaker of District 8, representing Akaras Gray, has been calling for, he has been pushing for the immediate dismissal of the president for
Oh,
what he termed as allegedly violating the code of conduct. He thinks that the president violated the code of conduct when he declared his asset. So, according to the lawmaker, uh, the president is clearly violating the code of conduct, specifically the provision that has to do with the um, sanction sanctions for false declaration. So he thinks that the president asset that was declared uh, is is far from the reality. He thinks that what was being declared by the president does not match what the reality is with respect to the president's asset. What he has in reality. So, and now he's saying that he's going to take on this struggle to call for the president's dismissal for um, false declaration, because he thinks the president has violated the code of conduct.
so that's
Now,
it. Let me ask you something before we move on to the next subject. So, Mr. Gray, you were in office before. Your president declared his asset and he didn't even make it public. All these years, he didn't even ask him to make it public, although it's not illegal to do so because you guys say once the president declares it's fine. But I think that in order for us to know whether this
Mhm.
person it's an anti-corruption tool. Okay, when you declare your access or when you do complete your assets declaration, it becomes a corruption tool. It becomes a tool for us to study how you got into office and how you're going to whether you're going to use our money to benefit you and become rich, and then as you're leaving, you'll be more exceedingly rich. Now, there's nothing wrong being rich as you're leaving because that's what people work for. You work to make money to at least benefit you. But when you come exceedingly rich, like in many cases, it becomes a problem. So you didn't make fuss about all of those things. Now today, you're talking about you mad because the president didn't say this on his assets declaration. He should have done this. He should have done that. Yes, to some extent, I agree. The form needs to be revised completely because I think the form for so many people to have questions about that form, I have a problem with it. When we don't know which should you put your current or past salary, something as basic as that, on the form when we don't really know, that is a problem. When we also don't know how the form was verified, how was it validated, if it was validated, how
Yeah.
valid, who made it, how it was authenticated. We don't know. Okay, we don't know any of that. So I think the form needs to be changed, but at the same time, for our current greater now champion call for sanction and human rights to come and monitor the president. It's far fetched. It's far fetched to me. So it's not a problem for me.
Yeah. Exactly. And then finally, and then maybe we'll take calls from the folks. Is
Mm,
the so citizens residing in the Bushra Island, the Douala area, going down to Burrillville and that entire stretch are
mhm.
going through a serious challenge when it comes to traffic situation. And so many of the citizens have been complaining about how stranded they will be um, every single day when it comes to making their way through their corridors swiftly. And that is because the vehicles that come from Cape Mount, those big trucks that will transport the minerals, the iron ores to the Freeport end, uh, the number of trucks have been increased, and so because of that, it has damaged the road badly, seriously, and to a point where there are so many potholes along that particular corridor. So there have been concerns from some citizens for the government to act swiftly. At some point, the president threatened to shut down or close down the entities because they are damaging the roads. But again, there was a permit that was given according to information we gathered from even the lawmakers. There was a permit that was a user permit that was given by the public works minister for the use of the corridor. But not just that, the number of vehicles increased from 50 to 125, and they're permitted to make two trips each, which means that per night they're making 250 trips along that corridor, and so that is contributing seriously to the road condition in that area, according to some of the residents, and that has been a concern as well. That's been in the news, so I just
So
thought
now,
to throw that before.
Nelson, so in some regards, I blame the president because it was the president who got involved into this, and he put the Liberian people under the impression that he was going to ban the operation of uh, the Western Cluster. Okay,
Mhm.
them using and running the road, and then we heard later on, maybe a week or a couple of days later, the ban was lifted.
Yeah.
What lifting the ban resolved. Okay, it didn't stop them from using the road and running the road. Do we know if they redid the MOU to say yes, if we use this road, we are going to fix the road? It's far beyond what I expect. Is that part of the MOU? And if that is, why are we still seeing pothole? Why are the people in that part of the world still having challenges in terms of coming to Morovia? Because that's how we started this conversation. Those people are now complaining. So it tells me that the road is still not repaired. They're not repairing the road, right?
Yeah, and Dr. Richardson, fortunately, I was providing coverage at the Liberian Senate somewhere around that time when one of the senators, I think it was Senator Michael, or one of them raised that particular issue, and Senator Amakone then spoke to it. He said the permit was given by the Public Works Minister for Western Cluster to keep using the corridor, but there was some monies made available in the tune of some 250,000 thereabout. But the senator's own issue was that with even the amount was that the amount could not that amount could not underwrite the cost of reconditioning the road to meet even the previous status, least to talk about making it better than what it was. So that was a very interesting debate. It was a very interesting issue that even the senators had to debate on back and forth. And at that point, there was some decision reached to have them appear. Yes, and that I understand is going to be handled by committee, through their committees and so. Yeah.
So that what we on now, every day they will be calling for people to appear, and then when they leave, nothing happens. That what we on now, that the kind of governance we on, that good governance there. But the thing about this, we should not be in hurry to accept chicken change. Okay, how do you accept money when you have not totally done any kind of estimation of the damage that these people are causing on the road? The serious damage that they are causing, that the people in Broville, in Douala, in the near the St. Paul River, from bombing area, they will be complaining, to say we are cut off from the rest of the world. We can't even make it to our jobs. We can't make it to the markets. We can't make it to Morovia, to Central Morovia, So, and we are so quick to accept this chicken change or these different arrangements that these people can give us. No, you stop that, because that's why our country is not developed. Where in the world you see, foreigners will come, and I'm not bashing foreigners. I love foreigners. They have contributed to our country, but there's nowhere, even in the United States, there's a budget for everything. Everything that I do, there's procedures, there's a budget. And our people who represent us, they play the leadership role. They're like the big brother, big sisters. They are the mentors. They are supposed to be speaking for the people. Don't be accepting this chicken change. And they say, oh, we're going to call them to committee room. So when you're calling, you call the public work minister and his communication officer to committee room. And you spend all day to do that, because our Nelson was there today. And what happened?
They weren't there. In fact, the report was presented to plenary, and then plenary had a debate on that report. So they were debating the findings,
Okay, so but they have called them there before, Nelson. Then they will say you have to report. Yeah. Then they will submit the report. Then they will debate the report. Then what happened next now? What happened? Then they will say they go to committee. Meanwhile, the Liberian people, the people in Broville, the people in Douala, the people coming from Pommy, the people coming from Cape Mount, they still stuck. They stuck for days. Not that they want it. But anyway, let's carry on, Nelson.
The country will improve. That already saying things will get better.
We're not giving her things will get better. Things will get better. Let's go to the phone.
Yeah,
I think that's what we're going to. It's 4:48, and we're waiting for the rest of the team to join us here. They will be coming in, and then we definitely will have a discussion on the events that are happening in Liberia. This is your radio station. This is why we're here. We're here to bring you the news as it is and to conscientize you to know what's going on in our country. And I hope by conscientizing you, you'll be able to ask important questions or act. In fact, asking questions is just the bottom of your action plan. But act on what is it that we need to do to make our country better. So yes, Nelson, go ahead, please.
Okay, so we're going to the phone lines now. Freeman said then the report will report. I don't know.
The report, be reporting.
Freeman, I don't know how the report will report on. So but you were explaining.
The report be reporting. No, Freeman, don't keep it to
Yes,
Jimmy.
how the report can report.
We're talking serious here. Don't be making fun of him, man. Oh God. You know, you gotta love how that people.
Yeah, so zero triple seriously. 055101075 0551010.
Chelsea, I want to just give a shout out to Charlene LIB Manaj. Hello, she always comes in and she says hi to Dr. Richardson. So Charlene, thank you so much. Much love to you today. Okay, I hope you're having a beautiful day. And all of those who are just telling me hello and thank you and appreciating me being on the show. I appreciate you too. So go ahead, Nelson. Thank you.
Okay, so let's take our first call here. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you calling from? Hello, are you here? Okay, so let's take another person. Hello.
Hello, Nancy. How you doing?
Yes, sir. You're live. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Joe Mewa. I'm calling from Chocolate City, Gardnersville.
Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Yeah.
What's on your mind?
Very difficult thing to get through on this line here. I have a very serious national concern.
Okay.
It has to do with the education in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. First of all, the training of teachers that the government does is not holistic. Government has 3 teacher training institutions in Liberia, here, one in Webo, one in Zoso, and one in Kakata right here. And they have limited intake of teachers. Not all the government teachers that they can teach. Now, are more schools in Liberia than government schools. And the teachers in private schools need teacher training with adequate provide education for our Liberian children. Now, most of the private
just to wrap up,
the
sir.
government to help to process training of teachers in Liberia here.
Okay.
Now, the issue with this is the ministry doesn't want to work with the private teacher training institutions because to do B program, which is 2 years, they say it must be 2,000, and for C certificate, they say it should be 1,000. Education is not for sale. We don't want to help the government. They can't strangulate us like that.
Thank you.
The teachers are now working in the Leeward countries. All the private teacher training institutions are just clustered right in Monrovia. They don't go anywhere. Now, if you do that, and nobody in the Leeward countries to teach the teachers, and we expect the children to do well, it's just out of imagination.
Thank you very much.
I want to really see the Madam Ayo office in Monrovia here because I'm a head of one teacher training institution. We don't want to be in Monterrey here. We want to be in the Leeward country to help the teachers who have not got any teacher training but taken to the knee of the children the way they want to do it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, I said thanks a lot. We have a lot of people on the line. It's actually 30 seconds to the call. Yeah, thank you, sir. Let's take this person. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you call from?
Yes, Nelson, thank you so much. My name is Thomas Kumi and I call you from Upper Kawe.
Okay, go ahead. Let's say
one of the talking points. You see, the road issue you talk about, the Bushra Island roads, the potholes too much. So we're calling on the public work minister, the government, to please see about that road. Now we have the 2 buses for testing. So are they saying that the 2 buses will not come to our end? We want to see them too. So please, we want to ride them.
Thank you.
The last thing on my mind about the protest that's going on in Kenya. It's so deadly. And today I witnessed a video and also saw a recorded a message. It's so heart touching. And we pray for the people of Kenya.
Thank
that
you.
There should be calm. There should be peace.
Thank you very much for your input. Let's take another person from this line. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you call from? Hello.
Hello, Nelson.
Yeah, hello. Please go ahead. You're live. Let's hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. You're live.
Good. My name is Dolly Lasson. I'm from Nelson, my concern has to do with the House of the Senate and the House of the Representatives, right? I don't really know whether the president has the authority to shut down the 2 houses. I mean, those 2 houses will shut down and then the country will move on very well. I'm telling you, I don't know what really those people are doing. First of all, they result nothing. Those guys sat there and then, sit over there and just enjoying the country money. After our money is being spent without no account.
Okay.
So, as a president, I don't know whether those 2 houses can be shut down and what is the impact of the House of the Senate and the House of the Representatives on the country. I mean, this great country can move power without those lawmakers. That I could say that.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your input. But the legislature is a branch of government, the first branch. All 3 branches are separate but equal, and their existence is by law. So anything you want to do is not something where the president can just get up one day and shut down the legislature. No, it's a constitutional. Is established by the Constitution. So there's a whole constitutional process associated with legal process, if you may. So I don't know how that works, but we hope the legal minds have some answers to that question. Hello.
If you just take it back for your show tonight, I live Breville. I just came to Liberia to visit here for the past 2 weeks. The road leading from the new bridge, the old bridge, all the way inside Breville to Thomasburg is a mess. It's a dead trap. I heard the public minister saying that 200,000 to 250,000 to pass the road. There's no road pass. I when they call New Jerusalem in the night, if you traveling, when the trucks in the road. Even 2 days ago, a truck hit a woman on the keke and knocked the woman off the road and no care. Run away. The woman run away. The one go to our TV, couldn't go out to the hospital. He says, it's the country that we all crying for. We want to America to see good things. But see, our country is the biggest village on planet Earth. That's 177 years. The road, why should they give Western culture? Why they can't build the road? That the iron ore to the free port, but use the road and dash the road. It's a mess. It's a death trap.
Thank you.
What nonsense is this?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's take another person. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you call from?
Hello?
Yeah, please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Nelson. How you doing?
Yes, sir. We're okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I just want to speak about this truck running on that Bombing Highway. My name is Joseph Jala. I'm calling from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, the selection of Broadway, I'm from that era. The selection of Broadway should stop the plenty talking, the plenty complaining. The men of Broadway block that road. No more truck pass on that road.
Hello, sir. You don't want to promote anything that will stir chaos or violence and all of that. On a platform like this, we have to be safer. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, you are live. Go ahead. Let's hear you. What's on your mind? Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. What's on my mind is actually a question about
Can you kindly lower the volume of your TV or whatever in the background?
Let me do that right now. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to find out about the employment and unemployment situation in Liberia based on department of the government, because like we're seeing a whole lot of employment openings are coming. I mean, as we can see it, but how can we tell people how to apply? Do they have names by department that people will be able to apply through? Because right now that we're seeing those buses or other things, we need hands on people. Not only white or blue collar people.
Thank you very much. Let's take the last 3 calls. Should we take 2 more, Dr. Richardson?
Yeah, let's make that 2 more, and then we can get started. I see Glendy is here. Hi, Glendy. Welcome to the show. And I also see Clem is here. So,
okay. So, hello, you're live. Hello. Okay, so let's take this person. Hello, you're live.
Hello, good evening, Nancy.
Yeah, good evening. You're live. Let's hear you.
Sekou Mouvana, calling from Badi Faji, bien plein fee.
Go ahead, Sekou. Let's hear you.
Nancy, I want to appreciate my government. They both what they do, they have brought all some of the buses that are coming in the country. So for testing too. Although the radio Kigali there passing around telling people say they are forward because everyone of their forward say people in Ghana they put for their bus to go by. But nevertheless, we can't be intimidated by the director. After we get a system 110 president, then they come in what they want. So our government President Joseph Boakai, God bless all with the man. And the man, the way he proceeding now, if you will not allow for him to go there for one
Thank
day.
you.
Even the man go there, will see God forbid say even in wheelchair will carry to that particular mansion.
Thank you very much. Let's take the final call now. Hello, you're live. Let's hear you, sir.
Good evening, Lesson Colette. And good evening to the listening public as well as Madam Richardson and the entire Spoon Network. I call in from Sinker. I call to firstly appreciate all other callers that have called on this platform. And just to make some points, take for example, recently the governor of Liberia authorized B Mountain to transport 250 trucks of iron ore daily. Considering B Mountain transporting 250 trucks daily times 300 days in a year, it means that it will be transporting 75,000 trucks annually. Now, let's take the value at $2,500 per truck. Each truck, $2,500 times 75,000. It takes us to $187,500,000 United States dollars. That is what B Mountain gets from us annually. So the question I would love to ask, especially the finance minister or people at the Revenue Authority, the LRA, is how much money does B Mountain pay annually into our coffers, especially when they're getting something close to $200 million annually. How much money comes in return? Is it sometimes back Honorable Alexander Benedict Comey said that we do not get anything in return to our resources here. These people come and collect millions of dollars and we get nothing from them. And this is the justification.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your input. I think that's how we'll draw down the curtains on the calling segment. Hello, Uncle Sam. Hello, Auntie Glenny. And I give it back to you.
Hi, Nelson. Hello, Doc.
hey, Glendy, how are you? You're in my territory this past weekend.
I know. I wanted to surprise you, but you surprised me when you said you weren't feeling well. I'm like, oh, yeah.
know.
Uncle Sam, how are you? Yeah.
Uncle Sam, how you doing? You okay?
Oh, exhausted. I'm trying to move to my house, and it's just like, oh my God, it's like every day there's something new. We found out today the well is not deep enough. We have to telescope. I never heard about any term called telescope. We have to telescope the well. We have to build new covers. Oh my God, it's just anyway. It's for a good person.
As my daughter can say, welcome to adulting.
Yeah. But adulting in Liberia, because in America that plug and play, you just move in. But Liberia, you have to do everything from scratch. But it's a challenge that I'm built to do, and but it's for a good purpose. It's for a good purpose. So moving back to the homestead after 54 years, moving back to the homestead.
Please make sure
I'm
you
sorry,
take some
Dad.
breaks. Take some breaks. Get some rest. Drink a lot of fluids.
Yeah.
Don't overwork yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do need a couple of days of rest. I do.
Yes.
Yeah, because you just traveled not long ago too. So, well,
Exactly.
we're sorry that you have to go through all of this. I saw the pictures on Facebook with the faulty wiring, and all of that stuff. But I'm
Terrible.
glad. Yeah, I'm glad that taking it a day at a time, one step at a time. So we're sorry that that's happening.
Yeah,
But I also want to.
yeah.
I want to. Oh, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I was going to transition to another topic, but I just wanted you to. share
Yeah.
your
Go ahead.
thoughts
No.
on-
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah,
we should. Yeah.
So I read on Facebook, and this is regarding the road situation, the road from the Cape Mount bombing corridor area into the Douala. So I usually follow Rufus Berry, and I don't mean to be calling his name to add to his popularity, but he mentioned, he wrote on Facebook that his car got into one of the potholes on that road and damaged, I believe, his radiator and other parts of the car, and how dangerous it was for him. Coming from Cape Mount, they had went to stand with one of the new pastors that was assigned to that area. He and some other members, and coming back, his car kind of fell into one of those huge potholes that was probably caused by the many trucks that we have on that road. That road wasn't designed or wasn't built for all of those travelings of trucks on the road. So he had to sleep there, and it took him a long time. It was very scary. I read his post, and I was so scared. I was touched by it, but very scared for him. As he talked about his ordeal about spending the night. He had to find a rope to pull his car to safety, and how he was advised at a place that he went not to keep his car there, because if he kept his car there in the morning, he was most likely not going to find his car. So he ended up sleeping in the car, and then of course when through the help of some good Samaritans, I want to say it wasn't all bad, moving to a little town, a village where people seem to be much more secure in terms of security minded. So I just it just reminds me of this whole terrible road condition on that corridor. That something has to be done. I don't know why that ban was lifted. It was up to me. We should have some resolution by now to how to fix that road. Those people are taking for chicken change. They're taking a lot of iron ore from our country. So I'm going to ask you, Lenny, what are your thoughts on that matter, and then we'll go to Uncle Sam on this matter over here.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be here. I always forget when people send me shout out for family members and birthdays. I know we do it at the end of the show, but let me say it before I forget. Today is Justice's birthday. Happy birthday to Justice. We'll send a shout out later. Angie's son. I want to make sure we do that, because if we don't do that, our serious show will be.
and actually,
happy birthday, happy 20th birthday, Justice. But I wanted to say, yes, I read Rufus' post about Roof, and it was so, and my heart was crying. And the part that caught my attention the most was they were hailing those trucks to stop and help them, and nobody stopped. They thought one of the trucks would stop at least to help pull the car out of the ditch, and nobody stopped. But it was also, it was also good that the first village they went to, the people told them, don't leave your car here, because tomorrow when you come, you won't meet any parts.
Correct.
So you had to go, and just like you said, some other people, so Liberians, we do care about one another. It is only us that we have. And so we have to be able to care. But the bigger picture is, I don't understand how the government thinks it's okay for these people to continue to travel, use that little corridor, not even build something else. If they need them that badly, then let them improve the railroad system. Let them open it up so that they'll be able to better transport the iron ore. But it's just, pretty soon a lot of people will be cut off from using that road because of how damaged it is. Or it's going to be. But it was a very touching story. And I know for Rufus Berry, I'm sure it was scary. I'm sure it was very, very scary that time of the night. I'm not expecting for your car to break down, and you break down, you can't even get some help out there. Oh my God. I was like, at some point I was like, what? Can you imagine had it been a female or something? It's just all around. It was just a scary story. And I thank God that he's safe. Yeah. He was able to and it's like in the end of it, he didn't sleep. All night he was just trying to protect his car, trying to get it to somewhere. And to be able to get it fixed today. But our hearts go out to that. We hope the government can really do something about this, these roads and the trucks and all of this thing. Find another alternative if it's possible.
Yes, thank you, Candy. Uncle Sam?
It is very, very sad. Rufus and I are very, very good friends, and I just read it while you guys were talking. It is tragic. It is, but it shows and I don't like to say we're stupid, but our level of understanding of global affairs, of economic affairs. And just give me 2 minutes. In 2008, December, the government of Liberia put out a request for proposal for companies to apply to run the Western Cluster, B Mountain, NIOC, and LMC Mines, Bowman Hills. This company was in Liberia called El Anito. It was just a scrap company. And the request for proposal requested that the company must be 5 years in production and 5 million tons and able to raise the capital. That never happened. The big companies like Tata, like Rio Tinto, Rio Doce, and other big companies came and they took this little scrap company and gave that concession to that scrap company. We rail on. In August of 2011, they signed a concession, and the same day they signed a concession, they sold it to the current company called Sesagua Vendetta, who is running it today, the Indian company. So they were supposed to build a railroad. They were supposed to build a port somewhere in Robertsport, and then they were supposed to do something called beneficiation, which is to increase the value of the ore. But the government that I supported, they came and they signed an MOU with these guys to truck iron ore from Bowman Hills through Clay, through Pearl River, through Douala to the city of to the Freeport of Monrovia. Who does that, for heaven's sake, my people? This is something wrong with our brains or something. But just the safety aspect, the environmental aspect, the social impact, and how much revenue is being generated from this to forego to allow the social economic implications, the environmental complications, all of that. It doesn't make any sense. And no one can do an analysis and to tell me that the economic rate of return or the social rate of return is equivalent to the damage that has been done. And I was hoping that President Boycott would have to undo what my government did.
They never, and they can't, because there is an incestuous relationship between the company and the bureaucrats in power. They stopped it for 2 weeks. And guess what? It started again. The Indians don't have any plan to build a railroad or to build a port until they've made hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. The purpose of what we do, concession, it will give them tax breaks. Then they're supposed to give us revenues. Then they're supposed to provide income, jobs, income, and then to improve social economic conditions. But none of these concessions have done that. Rich land,
Yes.
poor country, growth without development, you know? And the fact that we are supposed to be smart people, highly educated people in this 21st century, to go and give up your resources to a company that is trucking it by road, and you think that's smart? What economic benefit is that? Look what happened to Rufus.
And yes, and Uncle Sam, you know, you are so right about, you know, your concerns about the impact that, you know, this company is having on the country socially, economically, financially, psychologically, you know, all of those things. You are so right about that. You know, we're just talking about Rufus Berry or Boru, but this could have been anybody. It happens to Liberians every day. You know, it's just that we happen to stumble upon the story. This is the story of the people living in that terrain, you know, in that area. You know, just before, I believe someone called in and said that there was a lady who was hit by one of those trucks and had to be taken, she was taken to the hospital, you know. So and you're right, Uncle Sam, in as much sometimes I don't like to agree with you, because I know you are a supporter of a government that I did not support, and I'll be upfront and fair. But in this case, your government, you know, didn't hold this company feet to its fire. And so, yes, I expected this government, and any other government for that matter, who came in under the mantra of doing something different, to keep that ban and to make the people fix the road or travel another way. How come when the other company, the other mining company was in that area in Bomi Hills, the American company was in Bomi Hills a couple of years ago? How come? Because I traveled as a kid. I traveled on the road from Bomi Mines to Cape Mount. That road was good. Bomi road was good as a kid. And it's worse now. I'm a middle-aged woman. Why is that road worse than it was when I was a kid? There's kind of a progression in life, you know, as you get older, things are supposed to get better. You know, as we leave this world for our kids, we're supposed to leave the world a better place for our kids. But in our case, in our country, it is not happening that way. You know, how much is some kind of chicken change when you're running a truck company? You know, how much is?
Let me just give you a quick synopsis why this happened. If you saw Lamco, that was Swedish American.
Correct.
If you saw Bongman, it was mostly German.
German. Correct.
LMC was American. The
Yes.
American culture, the American tradition is to provide some degree of what they call it, amenities. Like
Social
Lamco
responsibility.
had swimming pool, Red Bus. But because the production and the demand for steel has shifted to India and China, Chinese companies and Indian companies are low-cost miners. They don't have anything to do with social responsibility. It is that thing to just extract, right? But it depends upon the country and its people to say to them, you are not going to engage in low-cost mining in Liberia. You will build hospitals, you will build amenities for your people, you will build clubhouses, you will build these things. And if you don't want it, go away. But because people just sign up for small money that they bribe legislators, they bribe the people in the government, you know, and like I'm very frank with you, the MOU that was signed by the government that I supported, I mean, waived like almost like $20 million in taxes that these people owe, because since 2011, when they signed this concession agreement, they have, for all intent and purposes, they have failed to perform. And actually, they should have been vacating these things. But because of a small amount of money to a small number of people, they allowed them to an MOU, not even a concession, Dr. Francine and Landy, not even that. They allowed them to trucks, 30-ton trucks, running for 15 hours a day. And first of all, the Ministry of Public Works has something like an axle law that says certain a weight of trucks shouldn't go on certain roads and bridges. Imagine the Simport Bridge. If that were to break, that would cut off over 1/3 of the country.
Exactly.
1/3 of the country if that Simport Bridge break.
That is the only.
It's just.
It would be.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. That's the only way that many of the people on that side, because again, I spend a lot of time on that side of the country, have access to other parts of Liberia, like Monrovia, Boncante, Kakata. So before Nelson, before you guys came on, Nelson said that one of the reasons why the ban was lifted because the company had again negotiated that they were going to fix the road, and I think they gave some money. Again, why are we going over a negotiation or contract that the company already broke? Why are we doing that? They broke the contract, and you saw right, Uncle Sam. Our government and our people, because again, the government is the people. We're allowing this to happen to us. Nowhere in the world, no other place in the world that you find this kind of not treating the people right, a good thing to happen. Nowhere in the world, nowhere. Only in Liberia. I'm still waiting for our moderator to come on. But I'm just going to start, Glendy. If you have anything on your mind that you'd like to discuss, you can discuss that. We're just going to open it up with that.
I think everybody's talking about the. I don't know what's on the agenda, but just for talking, everybody's talking about the buses. I see picture today that they're doing trials of the buses. The only thing is, when you look at it, you look at the landscape of Monrovia and other areas, we will hope that the buses will be able to sustain itself, or they will find a way to sustain it, because I'm not a mechanic, but it looks a little low for the pavement in Monrovia. So, but it's good news. I think it's good news. I think transportation is a necessity. It's important. So it's a good news. I think a lot of people are excited. I just saw some pictures with them getting on it to try it out. So good news, I think. The fact, the stories we're hearing and what we're seeing. I think the thing for Liberians, for us, I think, is we like easy fix. We're never worried about the sustainability of it. We're worried about we have this problem. Let's fix it now. Tomorrow will take care of itself. So as far as it looks good. I
think you've been very generous, Glendy, by saying that it looks good. I'm
coming from the perspective that you go from nothing to having 2 buses.
But what does it mean? Yeah, I'm sorry. What does it mean?
We don't know, because we don't know the full details yet.
I want to stick to your words, and you're right. What does it mean for a Liberian when the buses are not sustainable? When you mention some of the things that you just observed, look at our terrain, look at our roads. And we maybe it's because we've been exposed and we know what it's like in the type of roads that these type of buses run on. But how do you think, where can the bus go? Where would they run? Where? What roads are we talking about here?
Maybe Monrovia.
Let me give you my opinion.
Maybe on the pavement.
Okay, look.
Yeah, okay.
Look, it is a good idea. It is a great idea. It is a very good idea to bring buses to Liberia to solve the very difficult transportation problem in the country. The number one means of transport in the country happens to be pimping and keke, right? So we need buses. Yeah. But here is the thing, and then I don't want people to think I'm a sour grapes or what have you. How do you, okay, every time they announce something, they don't give you enough details to just give you pictures, right? we have a National Transit Authority. Is it the National Transit Authority bringing these buses, or is it an independent private company coming to run these buses? And what exactly, the specification of these buses, are they appropriate for the lay of the land in Liberia, right? So the partisans, the UP partisans, they will be clapping because they want to show that they're making a degree of progress. That's fine. So they want political capital out of the progress that they can demonstrate, right? But what they consistently fail to do is to couch the narrative in a way that makes sense to critical minds and critical thinkers like myself. So if you're Mandela Cooper, you're a political advisor. You go to the grounds of the executive and you have 2 Ghanaians and you announce the coming of buses. You say the president couldn't come today because he's having a meeting. That is not your place. The NTA, which is the National Transit Authority, should be the lead agency. And they should indicate to us in clear and ambiguous language whether this is a partnership, what's the name of the company they're having the partnership with? Is this going to be a privately run company? Or we have to know something. And everything they've tried to do over the last 5 months is only about optics and not about substance. 285 machines. Where are they coming from? Who's bringing them? Is it a loan? Is it a grant? It's a donation, gift. Tell us something. But you take pictures and you put it there. You're not running a campaign. You have 6 years to run a government. Don't try to score points against George Weah. He's no more president. Like today, they put in that the National Port Authority reported 3 million or 2 million, and then George Weah didn't do it. And who are you campaigning against? You won already. You won already. It's like being married. It's like being married and asking to engage your wife again. You're married. You own the country for 6 years. Give us substance and not be telling, not be showing all updates.
But let Uncle Sam talk. Why are you cutting him off?
Oh, I just wanted to do a little. No, guys, I wanted to ask our audience, our viewers.
Let Uncle Sam talk. We are not many. Let him talk.
Well, I would let Uncle Sam talk again, but I just wanted to tell our listeners, commentator, viewers that if you just join us, please share the show. We are looking to continue to make Spoon talk.
The people need to share the show. You just interrupted Uncle Sam intentionally.
And you interrupting her too.
Maya Basley.
No, man. You just come in. I want
to welcome you, Cesar, to the show as the moderator and turn the show over to you. You can allow Uncle Sam to talk for now. The judgment day is on you now. I don't
want that judgment day.
I'm here for you, your sister, your friend Glennie today. I'm tired. I've not been well. I'm tired. But my thing is that, folks, like Dr. Richardson said, thanks for joining us, share this show. We're going to have a quiet show. Uncle Sam, you have to speak, and you have to speak truth to power. That's why we admire you. The Mo Ali, the likes of Mo Ali, Steven Johnson, Amos Twed, these guys can come after you, but I know you can hold your own, right? You can fight your own fight. So speak. I mean, you're making some genuine point over here, and everybody will have the time to speak. So we give it back to you, Uncle Sam.
Stanton. I wanted George Weah to win the election. He didn't win the election. Joe Boycott won. I have internalized that victory to mean something for the Liberian people. Demonstrate that you can move from business as usual and you can show some substantive changes in the lives of the people. But all they've done over the last 5 months is show optics of things that they are going to do without giving us enough information on the how, the why, the where, and where the money is going to come from. 285 machines. We don't know who's going to pay for this. The 2 buses. What is it? Is a public-private partnership between the NTA and the Ghanaian company? What's the name of the Ghanaian company? Who's the CEO? Who are the managers? We don't know none of that. So we have to know Because for the ordinary people, the reason why they send us to school, my mom's so more money to send me to school is so I could read letters for her, so I could ask questions, right? But the 60 or 70% of the people that just see pictures of a bus, of course they will celebrate because they're not critical thinkers. But we who went to school as critical thinkers need answers. And the government is obligated to provide answers to people like us. No matter what you think, who I supported, whether I supported George Manuel or whoever I supported, but I am a citizen with the constitutional prerogative to ask questions. Who own the buses? Will it be run by NTA? Which Canadian company brought it? Are these old buses? Are these new buses? What is the procurement on these things? No one knows these things, Stanton. Those are the questions I want to ask. I'm happy to see the buses, but I just like to know the how, the when, who, and where is the money. That's all.
We can't hear you, Stanton. Oh, Father God.
Thank you. No. I'm here. I know Fadiga want to speak before we get to you. Dual or problem, folks. I'm not saying too clear today. My eyes so dead. Oh, but I want to say this to every one of you. It is important for us to sit here and listen as we speak truth to power. I don't know what's happening. That reaches him. All right.
Yeah, Uncle Sam, I like that you have now found your voice, which is a good thing. That voice you didn't have in the last 6 years. You saw all these things, but even when the emperor was naked, you never said anything. You guys sat here when the Weah administration carried out a lot of vain projects. One morning we wake up, oh, they ordered it in a place need market, the bill market, or no need assessment. Oh yeah, we need multiple parks here. They overspend, overprice these substandard infrastructure, and that was a means to get money. You guys didn't say anything about it. Now you want it. You see, the problem with this country here is we play too much politics. Yeah, I think I like how the president is going about this. If the president tells you, it's been in the news, this company that brought these buses, they are for NTA, is branded. You see it, you walk. I was driving around town today. I saw two of them with a bunch of people in it with NTA on it. If the company is in all the newspaper.
You said it's for NTA?
Yeah.
The two buses?
Yeah, that's the brand.
You get a story straight? You said it belongs to NTA? No. Let's hold you now. Let's hold you. Let me fair.
No, but
you were not finished. Uncle said we cannot allow him to finish. You were not finished. You just said for NTA. So what's your story?
So I'm telling my story. Like, give me a chance. These buses were on trial.
Take your time.
If you listen to to Mandela Cooper, and listen to all the news around here. It's a Brazilian Ghanaian company called Marco Polo that manufacture those buses, and it's on trial. It's out there in the news, but it's not about wanting more detail. It's about distraction, and we understand this. If the president comes and say, you know what, a yellow machine will pay 280 million.
Don't take us to yellow machine yet. Don't take us to yellow machine.
No, he said
no. Fatiga, let's take it step by step, check. Let them finish the boss's conversation first. Two of them, they're in the country. They drove from Ghana all the way to Liberia.
Yep.
Where are the bosses coming from? Who own those bosses? Would they be owned? Let me ask you all my question, because at least you will help me understand. I have not been following the bosses issue. I'm sorry, folks. I want to learn. I want to understand. Where are the bosses coming from?
The buses came from Ghana.
Okay.
It's from a Brazilian Ghanaian company called Marco Polo.
Okay.
That's not true. The Brazilian company is a manufacturer.
Uncle Sam, wait. The man is giving the Liberian people information and the people will decide. I beg
That is
you.
why in the newspaper.
So
That's why we are in the newspaper.
Fadiga, you made a research. You can travel from here to the moon to find Idomad and Eton. Okay? So I beg you, help us. You can travel from here to Hong Kong, to Taiwan, to Thailand, and all over. Do you know anything about these two bosses, Fadiga?
What I know is what the government put out there.
Okay, so what is
put anything out there?
Wait, Uncle Sam. Hey, God.
I have no reason not to believe that.
Uncle Sam, wait. I beg you, Fadiga, I beg you. Do you know anything with the exception of what the government press conference said?
What else do I need to know? I know that our people need buses.
Did you speak to Mandela Cooper? I'm not talking about what our people need. I'm talking about buses.
Mandela Cooper.
Have you spoken to anybody from the government directly to ask them where the buses come from? I said that question.
Just what we all read on the news.
Just what you read.
Uncle Sam is saying that there is nothing out there, but we clearly saw the video presentation of this Ghanaian, he sounded Liberian too, actually, speaking near the bus, and then Mandela Cooper gave a presentation.
So that's all you know.
2 minutes.
So that's all you know.
I woke up this morning driving around. I saw like
no. So that all you know with the information, not because you woke up, you saw the bus.
That's all I needed to know. But
that's all you needed to know.
Yeah, that's all I needed to know.
That you representing that you hold on, Fadiga. Well, that's just the second question for you and Glennie. Okay, so then we'll take our time. You just tell the Liberian people that all you needed to know what the people said on that press conference. That all you needed to know.
Anton, I also needed to know, and I also know that the Liberian people need transportation.
Everybody know that. Let's go back to the buses issue. How they got to Liberia? What's the agreement with the government? Who are the owners? What agreement have they signed? What's the next step? Let's go back and ask this question. But you're just saying that Liberia need transportation. We know that people need transportation.
Let me tell you,
we can call Mr. Tyler, Mr. Salim Tyler, transportation minister. We can call for NTA and ask them this question. But you
I have no reason to believe that they are now run by NTA when NTA is all on it.
You see, you call it NTA near again. So you say NTA is. So you say that NTA buses now.
That's the brand on it.
So that NTA buses.
Yeah, that's the brand on it.
You just said yes. You say it belongs to NTA. Let me call Salif Tyler and ask him whether NTA owns those buses.
You just call me off.
So now, you not crying yet. You were crying.
You gave 2 hours to talk. You give me less than 30 minutes.
1 hour. Yeah, you say I get Uncle said 2 hours.
You've been talking all day. Dr.
I met Uncle say yeah.
Let me finish my thing. What we know here is that our people need transportation, and the government is being proactive in taking steps to alleviate some of the plight of our people. This politics, the regular thing, when it's a business as usual. Look, even if the government come and bring out all the documents, the president, they said declare, I say the phone. When it comes to yellow machine, they say, oh no, we want to know how much it will cost when it comes again. So people want to be a distraction, and we know this subversive activity. So the president understands. He's been around for long. He understands. He know the politics in Monrovia. He know how people love to distract people from doing the right thing for the Liberian people. So he went about doing the Liberian people business, and the Liberian people will reward him. You know, it's not business as usual. So we seen the yellow machine. When the yellow machine comes, y'all don't want it. Y'all say y'all don't want it. Y'all stay can't say, you know what, we want it for our own country. Y'all give it to the other country. Because we know that the people need these things. And we know that 2029 has been decided when those machines come. So people don't want it. These are distractions. So people do not want to talk about the issue. How is this solving the problem of the people? I saw a bunch of Liberians, so they excitedly entering those buses. Inside it looked comfortable from what I saw. I saw a bunch of people in line, in queue, running, getting in there. They was in order. I saw people, not fighting like they're going through the regular hazard. Of
two buses and people not fighting.
It's the beginning. It's a trial. If the Liberian people get used to this, the next thing
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We have Fadiga. We have Fadiga that folks, I beg you, you go find radio station for Fadiga to do a show on. He rescued the government. He want your own podcast. You go find radio station for him. Yeah? I beg you. You suggest. No. I see your post. Yeah, which radio station you want Fadiga to go on the top of nonsense?
Spoon, though. Everybody says
you don't bring your nonsense on spoon, your tabata, take carry somewhere that on spoon.
Yeah, because you're opposition station.
No problem.
Radio.
No problem. We opposition. Stay in the bar on the time off because we're opposition. When you're ready, you come back on. Your opposition station. You know opposition. More place on your clip. You know opposition. Don't let place on your clip, bro. And see who the real opposition yet.
I said to the station. That's why you can get Uncle to say more time. You want us to talk about the good things that the president did.
You've been talking for 10 minutes and I talk.
I understand you when you were led and adapt to the Liberian people's system. Continue crying. Great. Welcome to the show, man. I said, welcome to the show. It's good to have you guys. The show is about to begin. Let the begin. 10,000 years ago, you told Joseph Boaga that he wasn't going to be president. Fadiga. We got that clip. We'll be playing it tonight. Fadiga. The real Fadiga, please stand up. When you said Joseph Boaga was 40 years in government and you couldn't perform and you shouldn't be president. Now let's talk. Wait now. Let's have a show, don't you?
Yeah, you know that. You know that. The president know that.
Mama Colin Gray, why are you acting like Stingray today? We're not even seeing your body. When you're here, we see. What's going on with you, Colin Gray? When you're here, we see. Anything you do, we're not seeing your body. I know you own corner. That way you can change your background. But ladies and gentlemen, I have a real show today. Let's talk about the bosses, though. Fadiga is my brother. You know we are messing with each other yet. Let's talk about the bosses. Dr. Richardson, we didn't hear you.
I'm the most honest panelist here. Look at it. One, Ellis Lewis.
Trust me, Ellis Lewis will be to your hotel door tomorrow for a 10 hours. Trust me. Dr. Richardson.
So, we began discussing this, and then raised some really great points about the bus situation in Liberia. Yes, it is important what Uncle Slim said. He also did talk about the governance issue, asking questions like, how did the bus get here? What rules did we follow? Who owned the bus? Those are important things. But I think what is even more important to the Liberian people in terms of them getting transportation to move from point A to point B is how sustainable is this bus to them? Are we going to just have, this bus for today? When we talk about sustainability, we talk about the maintenance of the bus. When you run a big bus like that, you got to talk about the air conditioning of that bus. You got to talk about the oil change, the parts, whether it uses gas or diesel. All of those things. How prepared are we? Okay, how proactive are we? Okay.
But that's what you're talking about, baby. That's what we're talking about.
How prepared are we? Okay, and is that part of our conversation? If it is part of your conversation, Fadiga, you didn't say we are prepared. You just talk about, you saw two buses and people didn't stay in line and the two buses are running around the country. A very serious-minded conversation about those buses should include how prepared are we? How sustainable are those buses going to be for the Liberian people that after this government or in the next couple of months, it's not going to be in what they call the car graveyard or the buses graveyard. And Liberian people know exactly what I'm talking about, And secondly, do we have the road? Then he said in something that I also observed, like the buses appear to be very low. I'm telling you, I was I'm saying for myself in Liberia about maybe about a year ago, though I frequent Liberia a lot. I saw one of those big buses on my way to Nima. And what happened to that particular bus that I saw? They were very low. There was a very high risk of accidents. People were afraid to ride buses, especially traveling to Nima and other parts of the country because they were so low. Are they built for our roads? And those are the questions that I think that we need to be asking. Those are the questions that Liberian people are interested in. Those are the questions that will have more impact on the Liberian people now. Yeah, intellectually, Uncle Sam and I can talk about the good governance issue, the roles, who owns the buses, who's supposed to speak. Is it the Minister of Transport or is it the political advisor? Yes, those things are important too. But for now, what I believe that may be important to the Liberian people is, are the buses sustainable? Are we able to maintain those buses? Are they here for the long haul? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me say this, and to all those of you that listen to us, let's be serious. Welcome to the Spoon Talk. You're very important. Share the show. One, I will say my piece over here, and we'll listen to Glendy, Conor Gray, Asido, Uncle Sam, and my brother Fadika. Do we need transportation in the country? Yes. Do we need water transport, land transport, sea transport, air transport? Yes. We do. Our country is too congested with everything, keke, pempen, and whatsoever. Do we need affordable transportation? Hell yes, we do. We need affordable transportation. I'm so happy that President Bouaka didn't attend that 2 buses presentation. Eric Conor Gray were going to agree with me. That was going to be one of the disgrace and shame to me. I'm so happy. Now, when you have Sylvester Graceby and the rest of them standing there, I don't know why. When you have Madara Cooper standing there, I don't know why. The NTA director, the Minister of Transport, they should go ahead to test those buses and do the presentation. Whosoever asked the president to go and say because he having meeting, he couldn't make it, thank God he didn't attend. I was going to be so mad. You don't disgrace our president to these things. Thank God he didn't. The president knows better. Now, it's a good thing that companies coming up to bid. They want to bring the buses. Now, they will do their own investigation as to see whether those buses meet the condition that are required by Liberians. Right, Uncle Sam? Those buses are samples. 2 of them. Will it be okay on the road, the fuel efficiency, the environment, everything? Let's put it together. They are samples. They are samples. They are not there for the picking passenger and dropping passenger. They are testing. But here's the issue. Do we have Liberians in Liberia today, Glendy, that want to bring in buses? Yes, we do. Do we have Liberians that waiting, Liberian own, that Uncle Sam always say, why give this to the foreigners? And that would be my argument. So many Liberians in Liberia today, they want to bring buses about agreement with the government partner with them, the NTA, the transport ministry. Can we give them the chance? Can they bring their own buses? We get a Ghanaian company taking buses from Brazil, bringing it to our country, and we should celebrate. They're trying to sample those buses. What about Liberians? What about our own Liberian people? I mean, let's be serious. I am happy, my fellow Liberians, that President Bouaka didn't go for that thing. I'm not going to condemn it. They came on the test. It's not been owned by Liberia, like my brother Fadiga said, NTA. No. Anybody that put NTA sticker on it, that's a mistake. They shouldn't do it. The people came on a test drive, Glendy. Like you bought a new car. They say, go ahead and spin around and come tell us. That's a test drive. It's not owned by no government. So I don't know why you got a minister of state, the political advisor to the president, and every one of them standing and clapping. We see 2 buses coming on a test drive before. We have not seen 2 buses coming on a test drive before. What's the message? Are we forced to prove ourselves in this unity party government? Are we in competition with ourselves? No, we are not in competition with ourselves. We are not in competition with George Weah, Conor Gray. We're not George Weah out. My Eden brought buses. George Weah brought buses from India. Where are the buses today, Conor Gray? Everything gone. You can't find spare parts. President Bouaka want to be very careful. Whether a government donation or a business company coming in, he want to be very, very careful. He's not going to rush to welcome 2 buses from a company A company bring, they come to do their business. What Madara Cooper doing? Is Madara Cooper in part of this company? Is she a partner? You get all the ministers to line up now to welcome 2 buses. Our country is so poor. Let me welcome 3 keke and Pimpin. Put Pimpin on the road. Let's stand up. Let God grace me to come welcome keke. You don't do this to us. If anybody said President Barker will come up to welcome them, I was going to go after them. Thank God the president never came out. The excuse that he was in the meeting, the president refused.
Tempton, 300 of those buses are coming to life.
Let me, I beg you, but let me tell my own. You talk all the plenty thing. I beg you. I beg you. Fadiga, go do your one-on-one show. I'm going to give you 1 hour in the morning. You will do your show. Let's talk in order. Yeah, beg you, my brother. I like you too, but Fadiga, I'm going to give you 1 hour somewhere, somehow. Maybe that's the only job the government should give you. Get 1 hour to go to work. I will ask them to give you that job. Yeah, man. They make me too vast. The government will give you a job on spoon. I beg you, you're only getting a job 1 hour every day. But folks, thank God the president didn't go there. This is a private business. The people want to come, they can bring 300, they can bring 500. I am speaking to people in government. The government own nothing. There is no agreement. There is nothing being signed. Everybody that running with this myth that the government bringing buses, no, it's to Fadiga. Fadiga cannot give us anything that the government bringing buses in. The government will not overshadow the debt. They say we'll bring the buses and the government will be responsible and they'll pay us later. You know how much debt burden you put on the government? I rest on this one. Let's have this debate. Let's have this conversation. It's good our people need transportation. But you want to celebrate and bring my president up because 2 buses sample? That's sample. Don't do that. 40 years plus the Papa spent in government. He know the importance of transportation. Fadiga, stop lying to him. He know the importance of water transport. He know the importance of sea transport. He know the importance of air transport. He know the importance of transport on the land. Don't bring 2 buses from Ghana. People come to show sample. You take my president for the executive marshal and made it to stand online to shake something like Ghana, man, because our country is a poor country. Our country from the slum. Our country dying. So therefore, my president must stand and say, hey, we got 2 buses. And that's it. Show the buses. Hey, we got 2 buses. President Boyka will do no such thing. I said to Madara Cooper, what you did, do not call the president to aid. It's wrong. It's wrong. Do not call the president to aid. Not every pen and keke come around, you go drag the president for the executive marshal. That's wrong. I give it up to you, Sister Glennie. I will give it up to you, Aisha Doe, Uncle Sam, Conor Gray, and our brother Fadiga. Glennie, talk to me. We need transportation. Don't ask me that. But don't take my president that does serious business for the Liberian people. You want him to come downstairs and you put 2 buses from a Nigerian businessman, from a Ghanaian businessman, and say, we just want to show transport. We just want to give a sample. I want my president to come from the executive mansion saying we got $50 billion on this project. We got $100 million coming to our country. We got a plane at the Rabat International Airport say, Liberia Airways. Take my president there. Don't take my president on 2 rotting old buses. Then you want me to celebrate. Glennie, talk to me, man. Talk to me, Glennie.
How you feeling? You feeling all right? You say you're not feeling well.
I'm not feeling all right, Glennie. Yeah, something happened. I fell yesterday.
She want to change the topic. Don't mind. She want to change the topic.
I'm getting too old for this. I fell yesterday. I don't know why. But it's okay.
But I think the sentiments I've shared it earlier. I think it's important. Number one, I didn't understand why they were there doing the presentation. And I rarely will I equate it. Once in a while, I'll come back with Isaac Dole to talk about previous government. These are some of the things we complain about, President. We are for. Why are we continuing it now? People go stand to the airport waiting for the president to come. People, they bring 2 buses. You got people lined up waiting. Then, it's like, why are we even doing that? Why was it necessary? I don't think that whole charade, Shibong yesterday to me was not necessary. If the bus, yes, granted, the country needs transportation. And these things we can only make assumptions because we don't know the truth. We don't know the real story. We have to go seeking information. If the government is bringing this, wherever they're getting this from, say it to the people. Where are the buses coming from? We see a video going around from the Ghanaians. They're upset as to why the buses pass through Ghana to come to Liberia, and they're not the one owning those buses. But we don't know the story. It's just so many stories. And this is not transparency for a new government. And a government that wants to remain in power for 6 years, we have to speak truth to power. If you want people to stop making assumptions, then say what the fact is. We saw 2 buses. Yes, I was excited too because, like I told Dr. Francine, the transportation is needed. But when you look at the buses and see how low they are, it's like, where are they going to be planned? Where are they going to be driving? Only on single highway or where? Route C, where? It can't go to the rural areas. So how far? Maybe, yes, it can go Nima, maybe, and come to Monrovia. But there are more things to the story that the country deserves to hear the truth and to hear what these things, what's happening. But it's almost like you have to dig to find out these things. And once that is done, you kill the momentum of the story, because by the time you get the real story, your interest, you've already lost interest in it. And this needs to, for me, it's a killer. It's a dream killer for me. Like, you want better for Liberia, and when we keep having these things where we don't know, we have to assume or we have to hear they say, and then you have opposition who will come and capitalize on the story. The government needs to do better in being able to communicate the things that they're involved in and the things that they're doing.
Thank you very much, Glenn. Thank you. Before we come to you, I think we got to go to Uncle Sam Conagray, then we'll come to you. Uncle Sam, welcome to the show, Mama. It's good to see you. Every day from a different location. I don't know what you're doing, seriously. You're from a different location every day. But Uncle Sam, talk to us.
I'm glad Mama is here, because you say our talking point today from the opposition is that we must say these are old buses, and they are programmed our minds every day. We can wake up in the morning. One thing will come like I talk about Joe Bucker today to go make Mama then vex. No, I don't. I'm too busy. I'm doing things in my head like structured financing. I'm de-risking investments, and I'm trying to move into my house. I ain't got time for foolishness. Okay, let me tell you something. These 2 buses, I call them foolishness, and there's a reason why. My mother was Fanti. I know Ghanaians. I've lived in Ghana. Okay, I got family in Ghana, and my son lives in Ghana. They don't respect you when you take the Marco Polo buses that are manufactured in Brazil and mostly mothballed in Ghana. And they're trying to find a place to go run those buses, and somebody come and tell Magdala, let's go take 2 buses and go ahead, we'll bring 300. That's not how it works in the brain of an account person. Okay, that doesn't how it works. Look, everything that you guys want to do, I'm happy for you. Let's solve the transportation problem in the country. Let's bring 285 equipment. But the narrative that surrounds it does not appeal to any critical thinker. To your, what I call it, Jenny, your base of supporters, okay, and the Liberian people who may not be that sophisticated, they can get excited. But no critical mind will see a political advisor with 2 foreigners, 2 fancy people, go to the grounds of the executive mansion and say, oh, the president can't come down here to look at these 2 buses because he busy today. Joe Bucker have better sense than that. And Mama, you shouldn't let Joe Bucker do that. Farika, you shouldn't let Joe Bucker do that. Joe, we have brought cake plane. I frown upon a cake plane. I cursed Joey at that time for making my content to low ratting. We went to the offices of the people over there near Airport Residential and took a photograph of the small 2-room office. Why is it the company can't bring plane? We condemn it. This is a new administration, an administration that has the moral character, that has the political capital to do something big for Liberia. Bringing 2 Marco Polo buses to Liberia through 2 Fanti men standing at the executive mansion for Joseph Boakai to come is not a good and efficient use of the presidency of the Republic of Liberia. Y'all ought to stop. Y'all want to do something? Y'all go get 100 million, 200 million, $500 million project. Let's get some investments in this country. Let's create some jobs and income. The thing I said, Joya didn't do. Joya didn't bring nobody to work. Joya didn't decrease poverty, but create 1 million jobs. Y'all go do it. But you don't come to us and bring 2 rotten Marco Polo buses and try to impress critical thinkers like us. That's all I got to say.
Folks, thank you, Uncle Sam. We try to bring in the video from Adela Cooper, and we've been doing a lot of research. We got to be careful. Not everything that glitters is gold, kind of great. We got to be very careful. We are in Ghana investigating these buses. We are there, but let's hear you, Colonel Gray. Let's hear you.
Stanton, my only concern is what is the policy objective of all of this? Is it to revamp public sector transportation? Is it the beginning of a public policy objective to revive MTA? Public sector transportation is really an essential component of our economy. Dr. Richardson talked about maintenance of the road and those kinds of equipment, those kinds of amenities. What happened to all of the buses that were brought in by the previous government? Do we just use and toss them away or scrap them? It's not efficient when it comes to, economic-wise, that's draining on the economy. So these 2 buses, are they going to be part of the MTA fleet of buses? That's where I'll be looking at this. But one difference between Uncle Sam and Ambassador Joe Boakai is that Ambassador Boakai has a country to lead. And one of his primary occupations is to control the public narration. In the military, we call that, psychological warfare. You want to go in the minds of the people and control the narrative so soon, so that they don't get angry with you. There's a need for public perception to shift. The way we're looking at issues now, it's not that we're competing with the past government, but you want to be able to say, look, you gave me power and authority, I got you, and control that narrative to the point where the least man in his mother's household would say, well, I think there's hope for us. That is the alternative. That's the objective of a sitting president. Mr. Jackson doesn't have that duty. There's the fierce urgency of now that can compel the narration to go different way, can go south, as we call it. So you want to control that. I think that is all that this is all about. But so if you ask me, it's trivial. I agree. Why should the president go line up to watch 2 buses coming into the country? I don't see any objective behind it. I want to hear what the advisor to the president, Magdala Cooper, would say. Let me hear the public policy initiative. Why is this driven towards? Let us all know. And that's all I can say, my brother Stanton. But yeah,
Thank you very much. Before we go to our brother, I also do have not spoken in Mambe. I will allow them to speak about it. Let me just give this information to everyone. The government have not got into a contract with any bus company, period. Fatiga come up here and say, well, the bus is coming for NTA. That's not true. The National Transit Authority the minister, the Ministry of Transport, and everybody else. The government have not gotten into any agreement whatsoever. These two buses are samples buses. So nobody must say the government owned them. So I'm going to bring in Asido, and I'm going to bring in.
Who said otherwise?
And I want to say to everyone, the buses that you saw on the video.
Everybody said the same thing, that it was samples.
Excuse me, brother.
No, that's not what you said, Sadiq. That's not what you said.
Yeah,
You said it
I
was
hear when you
MTA
change your
buses.
conversation. You said that
No,
MTA buses.
they were coming to
You said it
be
was
used.
MTA buses.
Mandela said it was said it was
Everybody heard you clear. Don't change your story,
Now
man.
the
That's
video
clear.
was going to be used,
Okay.
the buses were going to be used.
Okay,
by
but brother, can we
If we allow
proceed?
people to finish their sentences,
Shall we
make
proceed?
a story about them. If
Shall
you
we
not allow
proceed?
me to finish my sentence, how you will say?
Shall we
Yeah,
proceed? We knew so that thing when you told them you flip.
Well,
But
I'm
let me
not
say this.
laughing, Ambassador, brother.
Let me say it real quick, guys. I beg we gotta go. Their buses that you know, they're from Ghana. But do you know that the Ghanaian people rejected these buses? Do you know the Ghanaian people have problem? I'm going to show you the video. Seriously speaking, that the buses, even in Ghana, they do not want them. They have rejected them. The buses are fit for African nation. That is debt and throw back, they bring it to Liberia. I mean, we're going to show all these things. We're just going to grab everything and see people celebrating two sample buses. We need buses. We need transportation. We need plane, not cake plane. We need actual plane. Liberia Airline. We need buses. We need sea transport. But we need them that will fit our condition and our country. Our people are not stupid. That will fit the environmental condition, the fuel efficiency system in our country. These buses, you got to maintain the road every month. You got to check. We need everything. But let's hear from Asido, and we'll go to Mommy. I think Mommy is in Minnesota. I don't know. This guy is traveling like crazy. We got to catch up with Mommy. But let's hear from Asido. Talk to us, Mr. Do.
Yeah, Stanton, hi to you and everyone else as well as our listeners. You know, I may not have much to add on it because you have said everything, but I just want us to visualize something here. Let us imagine Liberia's current NTA buses are rebranded with Ghanaian flag colors on the buses, taken to Ghana. Can anyone on this set or listening believe that those buses will make anywhere close to the Jubilee House in Ghana? The Jubilee House is the seat of the presidency, like the executive mansion. If we were to take two buses from the NTA, rebrand them, put Ghana flag on it, put Aquaba, carry it to Ghana, do you think it will go anywhere close to the Ghanaian executive mansion, where ministers will leave offices and line up because of the two NTA buses rebranded that came from Liberia? I want to believe no. And like I've always said, and we'll always say this, back in 2018, when President Weah turned on the first street lights from around ELWA, I was in contact with some of my UP friends, and they said, "Oh, you're the CDC people, you're moving from here. Every small thing you're allowed to talk about, you're allowed to praise it." And I said to them, "Listen, every good thing added on Liberia should be celebrated. So if President Weah can bring one light bulb added on the ones that were there, it should be a good thing. If we have had one light bulb for every year for the past 12 years, we have had 12 light bulbs, and President Weah's one will make it 13, the other one just like that. So any good thing that happens to Liberia should be celebrated by all of us." Let's start on right. They said, I'm from Maryland County. Again, I said it yesterday. A friend of mine was traveling from Maryland to Grand Crew, and his car had accident because of the bad road. The customer saw that he almost got killed. I talked to him yesterday. He said, "Oh, the post said the road is good, but the road is bad. Look at the thing." He sent me the picture, and I even posted it in our chat room. So it will be a good thing for 5 million tractors to come, for 10 billion breakers to come, for 200 trillion everything, it would be a good thing for our country. Buses, man, if you're from Liberia, you know the transportation problem Liberia faces a lot. So when you were to bring buses, it's good. But let's know, transparency frowns on secrecy. Yes, we need all of these things. We need skyscrapers, we need boats, we need ships. Well, is that how we're going to get these things? Where are we with the processes that lead to ensuring there is checkmark for corruption? Where the next day you see Mo Ali lying on Facebook, you see Patrick Honda lying that yellow machine came in country. When B Mountain had yellow machine at the port. Where are we when 2 buses will be coming from Ghana that was packed for 8 years? 8 years they were packed. And then you see people lining up even the executive mansion. People will come and say, oh, why are they with the buses you brought? Thank God you will acknowledge that George Weah brought buses. Now the maintenance aspect is something we all can debate. I personally have issue with it, but thank God Remy Gray can acknowledge that George Weah brought over 45 buses from India. When those buses were coming, we knew where it was coming from. We knew who gave it. We knew what ship was bringing it. We knew everything. Why is it now today we can just see things and no clue about them? I think this was not the definition of the rescue. You can't be doing less than what the previous people did. And you claim to be doing good because you have some talking points you will take. Oh, your brother boss, what you deal with it? And it's poor and it's damaged. Those are all nonsense.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I say, Mommy, which state are you in right now? Which state? We gotta keep track of.
Tonton, why are you tracking my activities?
It's very suspicious, Mommy. You were just here in New Jersey, and we saw you in DC. Now you are not home. Which state are you in, Mommy?
We'll talk off air.
So you hiding?
I will have, but you know what Uncle saying? You myself thought you know.
No, I ain't got GPS to go track you down. So don't lie on me.
Mommy, let's talk about the buses. Mommy, can we play some of the video before you talk?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, Nelson, can you play the video with Mandela Cooper, please?
Of these buses.
Oh, the president is very excited. He's currently in a meeting. That's why he's not down here. But he's very excited to have seen these buses, and we're all celebrating the action today. This is a great day for Liberia. The people of Liberia no longer have to stand waiting for one pepe or keke. But if you can afford the bus, you get on the bus. And the buses are very affordable. As a matter of fact, the president is very happy to provide things that are affordable for us.
So what I mean is that this is more buses can now come to Liberia?
Oh, no, there are fleet of buses coming. This is the sample. These are the samples to show us, the people, that this is what they're going to receive. Over the next few weeks into months, there are 3 deliveries dates. And these are some of the buses that will be delivered.
How many buses coming are we expecting?
Well, at the end, we're going to have about 300 buses.
300 buses.
Correct.
Good. So let's now talk to, welcome, sir. Welcome to the media. Just introduce yourself, the name of the company, and just tell us a bit about these buses.
So the company is Technology Fund Africa Marco Polo Consortium. We are the representatives of Marco Polo and also the financing entity that is putting this deal together. We're honored that His Excellency the President had faith in us to help him deliver on his promise, and we promised him that we would not let him down, and we have delivered on the first part of the promise. The second and third parts of the promise are coming shortly. Within the next couple of months, you'll start seeing more of these buses on the streets. These buses are very, very economical, and they are very good for the environment as well. And they cater to all the sectors, including the handicapped. We have handicapped access in terms of the wheelchair ramp. We have spaces in there for the handicapped. And they're secure in terms of having security cameras and security features on there. They're safe. Also, they have technology to ensure that the drivers conduct themselves appropriately. And the most important thing is that they'll be easy to get in and out of the buses because they're accessible. They lower down to help people get in easier when you get to bus stops. But we're not.
Thank you very much, Nelson. We can use that.
In a video.
What you just said?
The video didn't end. Mandela didn't finish.
Okay, we'll come back. I wanted one person moderating. You want to moderate?
No, I want
So
you
we'll
to
come back. We'll come back, sir. That's the right video. Every day somebody edit something for you. I don't know what you're going to hear. Mame, can you please go ahead?
There are two things here, and I want to put the bus issue in context before I can address. I mean, in the space of my time, what happened that day, that bus that you saw in that interview. The context I want to put it in is the president is in a hurry to solve a transportation issue that he inherited. It's in serious hurry. The last administration received a donation of.
Who highlighted these things? Sorry, my man.
The last president, we have received a donation, 3 buses, 45 buses from India. You know, India has this relationship with Liberia. Most of the time, during the presidential administration, they donate buses. So 45 buses, they donated. They inherited 27 from the Unity Party administration. They ran those buses down the cliff, damaged them, burned the NTA, changed it into a parking lot, destroy evidence, and transfer public transportation to private individuals. That was the model. Destroy public institutions, empower individuals to execute public service responsibility. So they received 45 buses, they inherited 27, ran it down the cliff, destroy NTA, make it a parking lot, burn down the institution to destroy evidence, and transfer public transportation to private actors using yellow buses. The president now is under urgency to address that problem. So I wanted to put that one in context first. That is the urgency. That is what the president is under pressure to address. Over 60 buses ran down the cliff, destroyed, burned down the institution to destroy evidence, and no bus in the street.
That's why everybody be quiet, please. Please.
And no bus in the street. So that's the urgency the president is trying to address. We will not let that slip as we discuss the bus issue. I wanted to make that clear. So what we say to the president is, when you inherit such a mess, when you inherit such a disaster, and you want to address it, don't allow pressure to lead you in similar direction. There are better ways.
You stop posting that thing. Who's posting this thing? Yes, please. Nelson, please. If that's
I don't want to get a chance.
Yeah, what people posting comments? Not yet. Go ahead.
So what we say to the president is, when you inherit such a disaster, especially for public service, the way to approach it is to be meticulous in the way you proceed. What is happening, what we know happening is, the government is in the business now of negotiating with 3 different vendors to bring buses into the country and address this disaster that we are left. What you saw Mandela and other people doing was a strategy to put the president under pressure, to put stakeholders under pressure to select this vendor. That's exactly what they did. And that is why we frown on. The negotiation is going on.
Can I interrupt you, Mame? You accusing Mandela of double play here.
Yes.
You're accusing the political advisor to the president, President Joseph Yima Keke Bouaka, that his political advisor is squeezing and arm twisting the president's hand because she got some favor and some other winning and dealing with this company. I mean, you doing huge allegation here.
That's exactly what I'm telling you, Stanton. The government is negotiating. The government is currently negotiating with different vendors, looking at their pricing looking at what they're offering to be able to address the public transportation issue they inherited. Mandela Corpo, I don't have a problem. Mandela Corpo and other people support this vendor. That is fine. You can make your case.
Did she tell you that she support the vendor?
Yes.
How do you know?
Yes. So what they try to do is they try to put public pressure on the president and other people who are making decisions by bringing in the bus, flying it on the street, taking it to the mansion, and by that putting pressure on the government to select this vendor. But yes, it is true that the bus doesn't have any legal agreement with the state. There is no arrangement formally with the government. But what is happening that we know is negotiations are ongoing.
So you said that those are around the president without any agreement, without the transport minister, without the National Transit Authority director, without the proper people. The political advisor can bring her company in the country or the company she partnered with, because that's what you're alleging, and put out the Minister of State, Sylvester Grisby, the advisor, the economic advisor, Dr. Conan, Charles Snyder, and the rest of them, and line them up just because you are saying Mandela got something to do with this company. Mandela have a particular interest. Mama, you gotta be careful. This is a spoon talk.
Yes, Stanton, yes. Mandela is supporting this vendor. For me, as a person, right? I don't have any fundamental problem. If you see something nice and sweet, look at the features that the men were calling for the buses, the different security features. It sounds sweet. My point is, allow the negotiation, the vetting process, the due diligence process to go through. What she did yesterday was a means of creating public pressure and putting pressure on the people to select this vendor. There is no agreement between the vendor and the state, but they brought the bus in country to put public pressure. But like I said, as we go through the discussion, don't forget about how the NTA ran down the cliff. They destroyed the buses. They transform the NTA and take the responsibility and put it in the hands of private providers, and they burn down NTA to destroy evidence. That is the problem we're facing here. Don't forget about that as we have the discussion. That is the challenge we are confronted, and that is what we're facing. Let's put that in context.
Dr. Richardson, we got a clip. I'm calling Nelson. Nelson, are you there? Can you please be part of this show today? Nelson Colette, please. You are not picking up. But Dr. Richardson, I see Asido smiling here. Let me come to Hossein Fadiga because he have not spoken on this second round. Then we'll come to you, my fellow Liberian, the allegation from Ambula Mame that political advisor to President Bouaka, Mandela Cooper, is part of this company. That's why she arm twisted. You know Mandela, that's my sister now. But this is big, and I have to call Mandela on this one. It's pay to play if it is true. I mean, it is. I'm going to skip Fadiga and go straight to Dr. Richardson and Glennie on this one. And we'll come back to Fadiga. I want to skip Fadiga. I get a right to skip Fadiga because I am the moderator. Okay? If Fadiga gets there, let him go do a show in the morning for 1 hour with Spoon Network. I get a right to skip Fadiga.
Yeah, opposition here.
You know, for me, you know, just coming
this is serious though. What Mama is saying, if it is true, I think the government and people got to be concerned.
It's very serious. You know, should a government official, such as an advisor to the president, be putting public pressure on the government to purchase buses? That is play to play. That is a conflict of interest. That should not be happening in our country. So to answer that question, you know, I do not think that it should happen. It is why McGill got in trouble. It is why Serena Sifa got in trouble with the United States government. Play to play. Secondly, Mama says something very interesting here. It was, you have to look at your procedure. Your procedure should be meticulous, especially when you come against a backdrop of somebody who ran the past NTA to the ground. That is the more reason why you have to take care. And what we're seeing here, I'm not seeing any budget relating to MTA. They're not telling us how are they going to sustain and maintain. This is the current conversation. I don't care whether you line up public officials to stand in front of buses to put pressure on Liberian government to purchase these buses. You know, I want to hear about how you're going to sustain these buses for the duration of time, not only in the next 6 years or 2 years. I want to hear how you're going to purchase parts, how you're going to do oil, how you're going to cost.
Dr. Richardson, that's why I let her interrupt you. The bigger picture I'm getting from Mame yet, Dr. Richardson, is that the advisor to the president are bringing personal interest. Dr. Richardson, this is troubling. It's troubling. If it is true.
Yes, it is. I would advise Mandela Cooper not to go that route. That is definitely pay to play in conflict of interest. She should not go that route. That's not how you advise the president. If you have interest in a bus system and you pressure the government to select this vendor compared to all of the other vendors that are available. So those are my thoughts.
Let's come to you, Fatiga. Let's hear you. And then we got another clip to play. But they're busting. I want people to see the real video I'm about to play. Fatiga, talk to us.
I mean, come in, disturb me. I give mommy, give everybody time.
Fatiga, you get 1 minute to talk.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah, leave me.
Fatiga, you can be upset. You get 1 minute to talk. Please don't repeat yourself.
I don't know about the pay to play part, mommy. I do agree with one aspect of what you said. That the CDC administration deliberately destroyed NTA, and the strategy was strategic. They wanted to people like Sir Joseph and Finda Bono to bring vehicle like the Glacier Ride, the yellow buses. They took away the private. They brought those privately owned vehicles and use it instead of NTA. And then when we're close to the end of the election, we saw them burning down those areas, burning down document hiding information, and use that place as a warehouse. It's disturbing to see folks that Isaac that will come on here and want to talk about NTA and talk about those something. Look, what happened is clear. We need transportation in this country. It was clear in the video that 2 buses came as a trial. Mandela said it in the video, and they're going to be run by NTA. The biggest problem here is that people have chosen to be obstructionists. They don't want anything good to succeed. Look, what is happening right now is people are seeing 2029 and everybody start playing 2029 in 2024. That is what's going on. They do not want the government to succeed because their chances of even coming remotely close is when this government fails. That has been the problem in Liberia. So they will do everything to carry on subversion. They will do everything to carry on to undermine this president. And this president have understood the technique. So nobody going to be coming to you to be asking other things, because even if we bring document, we bring a sweetheart a concession agreement, sweetheart deal with 0%. You guys will say, you know what? Something. Look at the other person saying the Ghanaian refused it. The Ghanaian refused the buses. Something. When was the last time we had buses like that in Liberia for a country as poor as ours? Look at the future in the bus. I saw Liberians walking in those buses today. They were hopping on and going. Do you know how many things, how the cost is going to reduce? But people don't want that to happen. It's all about politics. The more we bomb off the government, the more we bring out these conspiracy theory, the more we do this thing, then the public. But let me tell you something. You cannot turn the public against this thing. It is essential. It's something that the people need, and the government going to continue to get it. We'll talk about how we get it, something the detail going to come up, but let us appreciate the fact that this president is taking action to solve our belly issues, things that are dear to the Liberian people heart. If you're not in Liberia, you don't know why our people go through every morning to go to work. The traffic, lack of vehicles. So, I think it's a step in the right direction, and I must applaud the president. You say, oh, why Grace be there? I don't believe in any other conspiracy theory. I don't believe in the whole pay-to-play thing. These are all distractions. What I believe is that the president is doing the right thing that he was elected to do, and we want to continue to praise him for those things. If he doesn't do the right thing, we want to criticize it. But for now, I haven't seen it yet. This is something that is needed.
Thank you very much, Fatiga. I say, I said, can you send me that video you sent me the other day concerning Fadiga? We must remind Fadiga on the show, please. Nelson, let's play the video, Nelson. Is it ready? Let's play the video.
In the year 2016, the then NDC government secured 245 passes from Scania Group of Sweden for one simple reason: to operate a bus rapid transport system. The exciting features about these buses are that the seats are larger, more comfortable, and more spacious than the everyday commercial buses in Ghana known as trotro. They are also fitted with Wi-Fi, GPS, camera, USB charging ports, and TV set. The Ayalolo buses were meant to operate on 4 main routes: Adenta through Legon to Accra, Tema through Nungwa to Accra, Kaswa through Malam to Accra, Amasaman through Achimota to Accra. Amongst these 4, a pilot phase commenced on the Amasaman through Achimota to Accra corridor. The buses could not ply other routes because there is no dedicated lane assigned to them, as was stated in the original plan. This reduced patronage of 68 buses that ply the Tudu Amasaman route because commuters were unhappy with the travel time. The operators of Ayalolo buses, the Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executive GAPTE, had no option than to recall all the buses as their operation was generating losses rather than profit. Business came to a halt in October 2018. Fred Chidi is the Director of Communications of the Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executive, GAPTE. Currently, 215 buses have been left at the mercy of the weather. The question is, are they being maintained, and at what cost?
Well, you can do the math. Take 8 out of the number, and then let me just announce that we've sent 25 of those buses to Kumasi, because the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly is also starting its pilots there. So you can do the math. But the rest of the buses are in our terminal here in Achimota. But as I said, in a few days, we'll be back on the Amasaman corridor, where we'll be rolling out the morning and the evening peak as we are doing in Kaswa now. Absolutely, they are being serviced. I didn't mention to maybe somebody else that the suppliers of the bus they have an arrangement with GAPTE, or with the government of Ghana for that matter, where there is a strict maintenance regime. Every month, technicians come around, mechanics come around, where they fire the buses, they fire the engines, and make sure that the fluid and everything is all right. So the buses are in good shape, except that they are not in commercial service as we speak, but they're in pretty good shape. Those details, I can tell you, as part of the purchase agreement, the suppliers, there is an agreement for the suppliers to service the buses for 2 years, and we are in the 2nd year. So it is at the cost of the supplier.
All the bus stops and terminals which were constructed with the taxpayers' money have been deserted and taken over by hawkers and advertisers.
This is the Ofankor bus terminal, and ideally this place is supposed to be filled up with buses that will transport individuals from Ofankor to Tudu. But the situation has been different for the past 6 months because operations has come to a halt. Officers who are supposed to fill up these offices behind me to operate are home. And over 90 drivers who were engaged in this bus transport system have been left unemployed. The question Ghanaians are asking is that when will this business bounce back? Or has the taxpayers' money been wasted?
Operations on the Amasaman Tudu corridor have still not bounced back, but 8 buses are running on the Kaswa Accra corridor, and this is a pilot phase according to GAPTE. Nana Akwesi Edujemfi is a dispatcher of the buses on the Kaswa Accra corridor.
We are trying to fix the IT system on the buses, because the people at Amasaman were using the cars, and now we can't operate that route without their card being useful. We don't want to abandon any card. We want them to get their card used. That's why we are operating Kaswa for now with the ticket. But we are now doing a different thing from what we are supposed to do, which is schedule.
were running, giving ourselves time that the buses will take off this time. But this time we are grounded until evening that the market women and the workers close. So we start work from here by 4:30. We start picking passengers. We come to town, they start from there by 6 a.m. in the morning. And by 8 to 9, they are all here. And then they will start from here to Kasoa.
Nana Edu Gyamfi did not rule out the financial difficulties faced by drivers because of non-payment of 7 months' salary arrears.
We are trying to fix the IT system on the buses because the people at Amasaman were using the cars. And now we can't operate that route without their card being useful. We don't want to abandon any card. We want them to get their card used. That's why we are operating Kasoa for now with the ticket. Now we have about 8 buses, but we are
All right, so Nelson, if you play the rest of the video, please. That you caught it, you got to continue playing the rest of them. Uncle Sam, I mean, what you just heard in this video, to go to the everything, Uncle Sam, 250 plus of the video of the buses just parked. I wanted Nelson to play everything. Engine problem, mechanical problem. They just parked. The Ghanaian people refusing these buses based on the fact that the condition with the weather, the condition is not suitable for the buses. So if we play the rest of the video, you will see Nelson, please get the rest of the video ready and somebody willing to talk to us from Ghana, Uncle Sam, then I will bring you in. Nelson, are you continuing then, please? Go ahead, play it.
Were corroborated by some drivers of the buses.
Everybody have a wife and children. So if you don't pay you, how are you going to get the money to look after your children and your wife? That is one thing. So people are going to borrow the money. Then if you rent, and how money you're going to pay your rent? So it's very critically. It's not easy. We are driver about 100, but now 8 buses is working.
Yes, sir, by there. And so I buy Ombwa. I'm almost in Ombwa. This is what's happening in every school. We here there go train. Yeah, baby, it's one more was in the second scanner. You don't have any of the members to go school. I the first person I've been wanting to go.
Some passengers who patronized the Ayalolo bus on the Kasoa Tudu corridor had this to say.
Short buses and the rest. When you take short buses, sometimes there's a lot of pressure, then a lot of pressure in it before you can even get a car to board. It's very difficult.
But I think it's very convenient, it's very safe, and then when you sit in it, it's relaxing and all that. So I think it's good compared to the other transporters like the church.
Me, I'm a student here at Accra Technical University. See, it's easier for me when I'm coming from Amasaman. I take the bus. I don't have any communication with the driver or the mate or anything. I have my card already, my money in my card. When I'm going home, same process.
So 8 buses out of the 245. Some other buses have been designated to other regions, but 8 have been designated to travel on the Kasoa Tudu Road, bringing individuals or passengers all the way from Kasoa to Tudu and also taking them back to their destination. You see passengers behind me.
That's it. You should continue, please. Let's take this call. This is from Ghana, all right? And I want us to listen. The rest, now you understood that only 8 buses, where is Fadiga? Only 8 buses out of the 250 plus buses operating in that part of the country. Your name, my friend, you are joining us from Ghana. Can you call your name, please? And where in Ghana are you joining us from?
Yes, I'm actually speaking to you from Accra, somewhere in Accra around the Kasoa estate.
What do you know? What do you know about these buses? There are 2 of them in Liberia right now.
Yes, those buses you see is the same fleet of buses which you have just played on your network, on your show. So those buses are about 300 of them. In Accra, they have been in Ghana for more than 10 years. To be very exact, they were transported to Ghana by a Portuguese company, because those buses are Portuguese made. They are Portuguese manufacturer buses. So they were transported from Portugal to Accra under some arrangement. But one of the arrangement was that the lane, the bus lane, as in other countries, the bus lane should have been laid out for those buses to travel on. So in Ghana, in Accra in particular, there are no bus lanes. So that was one of the obstacles. In 2013, 2016 to 2022, those buses have been packed. In fact, they have been packed for over 5 years. As you can see, those companies parking, where the buses have been, abandoned, you see. So the company that imported those buses, they are no more in services. So somehow somebody who thinks that he's smart, he or she is smart, is trying to push those buses on Liberia. And we have to be very careful. Look at the maintenance period, the warranty period. According to the gentleman who spoke, who was once part of one of the executives of the company, he said they have only 2 years warranty. 2 years warranty for their technician, for the bus company to maintain the buses. But since the 2 years, they have been struggling with parts. They may look good. If they wrap them, they may look good, but what are the durability?
So how sure are you the buses? How sure are you the buses that 2016? Because on one of the plate we are saying 2016 on one of the buses. So what that tells you that 2016, these buses are, how old are they now? 2016 to the 8 years old.
2016 to 2024, they are about 8 years old, but remember, they were imported to Ghana in 2016. They were not just manufactured and imported to Ghana in 2016. So they were just imported into Ghana in 2016. So it could be maybe 8 years back when they were manufactured before they were imported to Ghana.
So you are in Accra. You are in Accra. Why is it that almost 300 of these buses stay parked?
Yes, because maintenance issue. The problem is maintenance issue, and they don't have the lane. They don't have the bus lane. So the driver have been having problem with them. The company have had a lot of problems. The RT system on the buses have all failed. So you cannot actually use the car, like in other developed countries where you just scan the car and just get on. So all those ones have had an operational failure with the transportation company. You see.
What's the name of the company that brought the buses? What's the name of the company that brought the buses to Ghana?
They are called Ayo Lolo. Aya Lolo. It's not that company what that man called. The gentleman I was speaking to by Mandela Copa, sorry. The company he's calling Adam Makobi, no, he's just making up the story. He cannot tell us the registration details of that company. He's just in up. And if you actually, from the body language between Mandela Copa and the man, because the man wanted to say something, and then Mandela can say no. So they are just making up a fake company. The particular company is called Ayolola.
It's a company based in Accra?
Yes, it's a company in Accra. In fact, the gentleman who bust the news that he was very angry, the name of that company is there. He was the one that said, look, we have seen videos. These buses have been rebranded. That means they have just been wrapped. They have been wrapped up.
Oh, wait. So the buses, so talk to us. You said they rebrand the buses because it's on the way to Liberia?
Yes, they're just wrapping it. They're just wrapping it, rebranded with new name, NTA.
Oh.
So the same old buses.
Let's hold you there. Let's hold you there. I'm going to bring the rest of the guys. Please don't hang up.
Liberians are listening to you. We got to dig deeper into the story. Some people appreciate the buses in Ghana, and that would be my last question to you. Then I will go to my colleagues. Some people say, well, I'm a student. Well, I appreciate, well, I'm not, we don't have to run for small bus. But your argument is that almost 250 of them stay parked. And you're saying they are fixing them because they want to send them to Liberia?
Yes, because they have been abandoned by the company. So it's a callback, it's a comeback for the company, and the only way they can get their money out is that they ship them to Liberia. So it's a way of getting, it's a way of getting rid of their bosses. So why is it that they cannot run their own bosses, but they want to bring those bosses into Liberia?
So thank you very much. Don't you leave? Maybe the guys have questions for you. Uncle Sam, you come in, you listen to this story from, are you a Liberian or are you a Ghanaian?
Yeah, I'm originally a Liberian.
Okay, but you're in Ghana?
Yes.
Okay. Uncle Sam, talk to me. Somebody is in Ghana.
Yes, I'm getting you, Uncle Sam.
Oh, okay. So you don't speak Twi. Okay, listen, I want to find out something from you.
Yes.
What is it that you know about this Ayolo company? Okay, is there Ayolo companies currently doing business in Ghana? Are they still in operation?
No. You will only see maybe 1, 2, 3 of their buses that fly along the route to Kaswa, from Kaswa to Mini City, to the circle in Accra. Anybody that knows the circle, just before getting to the palace, there you will see those buses running. There are about just 5 or less than 5 that run along those lanes.
Okay. So do you think that they are just trying to, they made a bad business decision in Ghana? The buses are there, they're mothballed, and they are trying to find another place where they can make these, where they can take these buses so they can recoup the financial losses they've been making on these buses because they are not operational in Ghana?
Yes, exactly so. That is what they're trying to do. And that is the deal they have struck with Mandela Kopa and the presidential ministry, the presidential affairs ministry, sorry. So that's the deal. Because what we're looking at, if you take the papers off, you strip all the paint. Because look at those buses. They are red, green, and yellow. So what they're doing, they're stripping them off. And then they will rewrap it to make it look like, they are new buses for NTA. That's why you see NTA at the back. So it's just that they strip it, they rewrap it like red, white, and blue, and then they put NTA at the back. But I can assure you, those buses are more than 15, 20 years old, each of them, because they got a VRN. We can check the VRN. For example, those buses that are in Monrovia, now the 2 buses, if we look at the VRN number, we will know when those buses were manufactured. We will know the exact year because the VRN tells us when a car is manufactured. So I can put it as a challenge. Let NTA tell us the VRN number for each of those buses, and then we can be able to track.
Well, thank you very much. Let me bring in let me bring in the rest of the guys, please. Thank you. Mame, you raised this issue about Mandela, being involved with this transaction. I still hold that as an allegation because I got no proof. But listen to what your name again, my friend. What's your name?
My name is Davis.
Listen to what Davis is saying, Mame. Is that anything adding up? They got 250 plus parking, they're rewrapping them, few still running and flying the street of Ghana, but yet and still they want to shove all those buses into Liberia, Mame.
I don't have a question for him. What I see is his statement is corroborating what I have and what I know. What I know is the government of Liberia, the National Transit Authority, is negotiating with different suppliers of buses to address the public transportation issues in the country. Fact.
Let me just come here, Mame. I know you are saying that the NTA is negotiating, but that is not the rightful way to negotiate. According to our procurement law, is that according to our procurement law, you're supposed to have new buses or new cars coming, not to go to Ghana. You have seen the video. You can send people
I agree
there.
with you, brother, and I disagree with you. You must say agree.
Give Mamo a chance, let him land. Give him a little
must say
bit.
agree, brother. We don't get no disagreement on that one. We 100% agree with that. I'm saying that's fact. The government is negotiating. As part of that negotiation, Salif Talor, the Minister of Transport, Magdala Cooper, the political advisor to the president, and few of the allies support this vendor. They believe their boss is
Salif Talor said no. He said he's not part of this.
Okay. I say my own. And I have reason to believe so.
All right.
Salif Talor, the Minister of Transport, Magdala Cooper, the political advisor, and their ally, believe that this boss is the best thing that will ever happen to the country. Therefore, they are supporting the vendor. They want to bulldoze their way. While the negotiation, while the vetting process is going on, they want to bulldoze their way. And they want to use public pressure to bulldoze their way. That is why they decided to bring the bus and put it on the street and start to generate narrative. Like, oh, the people already.
Hold on 1 minute, David.
No,
that is fact.
Hold on 1 minute. Let Mohammed finish, David. David, hold on 1 minute, please. Go ahead, Mohammed.
That is fact. But what we can say to our people listening to us today is President Boakai, his administration is committed to providing effective and efficient public service through the NTA. In a couple of weeks, the government will make a decision. Buses will be available subsequently to address the problem. NTA now only had 5 buses that are operating, 5 out of over 60. The president is aware of that. They will address that problem. Addressing that problem, nobody will bulldoze their way through. Nobody will put pressure on them. The process will go through. A company will be selected. They will bring in buses. They will address the problem. That is what we want to tell our people.
So, David, go ahead before I bring in Isaac. Go ahead. You were saying something, David.
Yes, I'm not one of those being an obstacle to say that the government should not bring in buses. But the fact is that those buses are more than 20 years old and they are being abandoned in Ghana. They are being abandoned in Ghana, so it's the way of getting rid of their old buses and to bring them onto us. I would be very surprised if I see those buses running full time in 4 services over the next 3 months. I gave people 90 days. Says we require parts. They will need maintenance.
Thank you. Let me hold you there. Let me bring in Isaac. Though Isaac, before we go to Alpha Dikra and Conor Gray, this is things spinning over here. To believe that the video we saw, over 250 of them packing to be shipped in Liberia and they will be rebranded. Isaac, are you hearing us? All right, so maybe Isaac is not hearing us. Isaac, can you hear us? All right, Conor Gray, you want to come in?
Talking to me, right?
But we're talking to you. You're not part of the show,
No,
man.
no, I wasn't hearing you for some reason.
I'm bringing in. I think you want to comment on this. We got to run.
Well, yeah, my brother. I'm not sure your name again. I'm trying to remember. I just have this. I know we have our own discussion after you leave, but my brother, why do you think?
His name is Davis.
Davis. Why do you think Liberia is now looking like a dump site where you don't want this? Just bring in Liberia. What gives the encouragement to the people over there to think they can bring their bus so ratting to Liberia to just come and tell me? Why do you think so?
Yeah, Mr. Doe, I respect you a lot on this show. Yeah, I respect you. I respect all of you. I regard all of you, each and every one of you on the show. Look, what is not done in the rightful manner is never done at all. It's not done right. Why is it that the company cannot use those buses that were intended for in Ghana, but now they are bringing it here? So what is the deal between Mandela Copper and the Ghanaian partners? So, I mean, let's put this to test. Let's put it to test. Today, from now to 90 days, let's see how those buses will run. And for the transport minister to be very open to us, let them give us the VIN number, and then we can be able to decode those VIN number to know the age of those vehicles.
Are you far from the company where they have this company in Ghana? Are you far away from there?
I'm not too far away from there. I can do a documentary. I can go there and do a documentary, and then be able to send it to you people.
Please, can you do that? Can you do that if you can? And also, if you can speak to someone from that company headquarters in Ghana, we appreciate.
Yes, but the fact is that I may not be able to see some of the official because, as I told you, most of those videos are about 7 years old back. So they have been, the company side have been all been abandoned. As you can see, they have been deserted. You see, in fact, most of their shops are all being closed, as you saw in the videos. Yeah.
Wow. So Conor Gray, thank you. Hold on 1 minute. We'll still get Conor Gray and Fadiga to go to place. Conor Gray.
Yeah, I think Davis comes as a sigh of relief. These kinds of investigative reporting can start like this, and the truth is coming up eventually. My concern is what does Magdala Cooper to do with this? Was she appointed by the president to spearhead transportation public sector issue? Why is Salif Tyler not saying anything? Just coming out to say he got nothing to do with this, it's not sufficient. My question to him, what is his overall public policy objective as a minister for public sector transportation management? I mean, these guys just go and they pass them through the Senate without giving any strategic plan for this kinds of things. That's why we end up like this. And Liberia is going to take the loss. So I think I'm glad that we're jumping on this. And people like Davis, there'll be more folks probably that will come out and speak the truth. But I think we need to get Magdala Cooper here. Let her give us what's her interest. Is she going to be fronting for other interested parties as well that will be coming forth with public transportation like this? Then probably that takes away that suspicion that she's fronting for them. And if she is, then it's pay for play. Yeah, I don't see, and that's corruption to the highest. And I think that should be our focus now going forward with this show. On this
and I like what you say, Conor Gray. We have to talk to her. I reached out to Magdala. She had to reply. She will reply like she always does. But again, let me bring in Acid though. Acid, no, we talked to Acid. Is Fadiga. Fadiga, please.
Stanton, I love the pessimism from folks that want to see this government fail. It just sometimes it can be very annoying. One gentleman sounding Ghanaian came here, now he's Liberian, tell us, oh yeah, these buses are old buses, 20 years old, check the VIN, and we all believe it. What we fail to realize
I didn't tell you that I'm a Ghanaian. I told you I'm a Liberian born. I told you just to correct that.
No,
Maybe you were not listening to me.
No, stand up, that man, stop disturbing me. Yeah.
No, I just want you to skip the
You are trying too hard with the Ghanaian accent as we do. Right now, that's not the problem right now. The problem here is you have not presented any facts. Stand up, be quiet, man. That may disturb me. You have not presented any facts. Let me just give this scenario. What if, which is the what people do here often, what if on Liberian, we always talk about empowering Liberian. What if, let's assume everything remains constant. Why if on Liberian had gone to Ghana and say, you know what, my people need buses, I want to invest and negotiate with a Ghanaian company, bring those buses and start to run them here as a private that we saw those guys did with the yellow buses and the yellow taxis that we have almost 45 or 50 of them in the street. Why if one Liberian have done that and come in this country, what will we do? Will we refuse the buses? Will we say don't do business in Liberia? That's one. The next thing, a lot of people will be happy because that was how people operated for the last 6 years. But let me say this. There is no facts. This guy have not presented any fact. These are all wild speculation going, just to throwing all the excuses out there to see if something will stick. What we fail to realize is that the president is doing everything in his power. He was elected to solve problems. Now the procedure, we can talk about the procedure. But for us to criticize everything, for us to find negativity in everything, for us to refuse to see the bigger picture, to refuse to understand the plight of our people, and try to politicize everything, I think is a disservice to the Liberian people, and we are doing wrong to our country. Because at the end of the day, it is those man Kotati, my man, don't give me
Hold on 1 minute.
You woke up one morning, you came, you brought your allegation. I don't know where you got your facts from until you can prevent facts. Show me company, show me everything. I don't know what David came from. One David just came out. I don't know what I need David said, but you came here, you made some wild allegation. Pay to play this and that. You have not substituted any of the things that you said. You just made a lot of wild allegation and so people can get confused. But I will say this. This president made some serious promises. The transportation sector was badly damaged for the last 6 years. We're going to fix it. This administration is going to fix it. There are a lot of things that were damaged in this country that we're still trying to even patch it up before even thinking about fixing it. And this is one of them. The buses are going to come. People are going to enjoy it. It just says 90 days. What proof do you have that 90 days? Can you see the picture? What proof do you have that these were negotiated? You work with a company. What is your portfolio? How did you get this information? Who can we talk to? How can we verify? When you want to verify, you cannot come on this national platform with wide speculation, with zero facts, and you want everybody to believe you and believe that, oh yeah, Mandela Kupo or the people in the president, around the president are making this decision, this other. No, that's not how it works. Get your facts right. Get your facts right. Get all the information. Give a document.
He always done.
Or company that looked at this company was in Ghana, so that's the same boss. Ghana is way ahead of us. We keep playing this. This is the same kind of politics we keep playing in our country. We cannot move forward. Ghana has Uber. Ghana has boat. Ghana has a very transportation infrastructure that we are not even close to yet. So try to move around Ghana is much easier than us because not only is the place developed, not only is it laid off, but you can get in, come from the US, get in Ghana, take Uber, take taxi, take boat, coupled with the bus station. We do not have anything. And then you're talking about, oh, they're bringing this, that, they're bringing, they're bringing this. Why if Moses Jones have brought those buses in the country, will we reject them? I'm not saying that we should bring old buses. I'm not saying we should bring buses that will not last. But what we are doing here is we are being very pessimistic. We are trying to do everything to criticize the government because we know that if this government succeeds in solving the people problem, that will be the end.
Thank you. Let me go ahead, Glendy. Thank you. But let me get back. We'll come to you, Glendy. David, you were trying to speak. Go ahead, and we'll go to Glendy, and then we can.
Fadiga, let me just address a few of the issues you mentioned in there. So if we have someone from Liberia that wants to bring those buses from Ghana or wherever, yes, that person will take ownership liability. Ownership liability, that means he will have to pay taxes to the government. He will have to maintain his own buses that he brings. That's one thing. But the contradiction is that the government, through the NTA now, is bringing those buses. Imagine we have got a breakdown on any of those buses. Who is going to supply the parts? That's one thing.
They assume your story. Do you know what if the company?
Let him finish. Wait, let him finish. Stop.
You were talking.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So if we can, what we can also do is that we allow the company, the ownership of the company, to bring those buses and then run the buses, pay taxes to the government. They look after their own buses. That's another way of easing the
Thank you. Let me bring in Glennie. We know exactly the structure of this buses issue, and we have to inform our fellow Liberians. Glennie?
Fadiga, you think that those buses are coming from Brazil new?
David, hold on. Are you working with this company? How do you know so much about a company?
Fadiga, you gotta go to Glennie. David, 1 minute. Glennie, are you speaking? Are you with us?
Because somebody was calling from Ghana that wants to contribute. So that's why I'm trying to make sure if that's okay with you or not.
You want to say something, Glennie, first before we go to that person? Right. We can't have both of them here. You want to say something?
Okay, let me just say we wouldn't be here if the government was transparent. I just want to lay that out. If the government was transparent, if people knew about everything that was happening with the bus now, we will not be here. And it's also not wrong for a Liberian who lives in Ghana, who's interested in his country. It could be politically motivated. Let's also not forget that. But who has information? We can't say, okay, whatever you're saying is not true. We cannot say that his story is not true because we don't know what the truth is. We don't have the real story. So when you don't have the kind of transparency that is needed, then you're gonna have the allegations with Mandela Cooper that Mame talked about. You're gonna have this Mr. David on, who's also giving us some story, because everybody right now we're fishing for stories to find out how do we connect the dot to put this thing together. But I want to say this: I think with all of these things that are being said now, it is important that the government comes out and speak out on this. Because what will you do with the story in Ghana? What will you do with the video that we've seen these buses? And it's not difficult to pin them or to color them. But it's important that with the transport situation in the country, yes, this is a fix that we need for the country, but we need to ensure, the government needs to ensure that it is legitimate. And it's the right deal and it's the right way that they're doing it. And so when they don't tell the citizens what's happening and they don't come up with what the facts are, then people will assume, why would the transport minister not be the one on Spoon TV now talking? Why would he not want to come and say something? Why not? Why is he acting like he doesn't?
We don't even know the market value. We don't know the market value.
Why is he not acting like he doesn't know what is going on? The story should come from him. He should be able to speak. So when you can't blame people for talking and people for coming up and making and telling their stories and telling what they know when you have nothing else to hold on to. So I don't blame David for coming on. I don't blame another Liberian or whoever wants to come and give a story, give their side of the story of the boss, because we have heard nothing from the government. So we can't hold anybody. We have to hold our own government accountable. We got to hold them. We gotta demand from them what is the truth about these buses, so that we can't continue with the story, the hearsays that's going on around, because there's no story.
Thank you, David. Thank you, man.
So how much
David, thank you.
is selling those buses to the Liberian government?
David, we will wait. We will wait.
Those buses to us.
David, we'll wait. Call us tomorrow when you are the side. Let's do some documentary, please. It's good having you on the show. Thank you very much, my friend.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for having me as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Augustine, let me come to you and Mommy. Something is happening. If it is true that these 200
are we bringing the person on the phone with Glendy?
Glendy sending me the information, Conor Gray.
Okay.
Yeah. If it is true that these 250 plus buses coming up, Uncle Sam, and they're rewrapping them and they clean the engine and putting oil in everything, then where are we, Uncle Sam? Why are we in Sweden?
Those buses drove from Ghana to Liberia.
Okay, but let me talk.
You want him? You want the person to speak?
Call me, Glenn. Call me.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna
Okay,
give you Stanton's
so
number so you can
Fariga,
call him. Okay.
Marco Polo buses are made in Brazil. We can have, if we want Marco Polo buses, we can do a bilateral construct with the government and people of Brazil. The Brazilians have told us time and time again they want to do a Liberian-Brazilian joint commission. I traveled with Ellen Shalif to Brazil in 2010. That is still on the table. You don't go to take used Marco Polo buses that 10, 15, 20 years in Ghana that are mothballed and bring them to try to revitalize the National Transit Authority. That's all we're saying. It is a good idea to revamp the NTA that you claim was damaged by President Weah. I can accept that. But what I cannot accept is that we'll go and take 250 buses or 300 buses that were mothballed, that are inoperable, and take them to Liberia to revitalize the NTA. If that doesn't make sense to you, Fariga, it's your business. But that doesn't make any kind of sense. Okay? I'm speaking to you as a nationalist, as somebody that got pride. Okay? National pride. To take used buses from Ghana that have been mothballed and for the government to buy it. I can see, like you said, Mr. John Brown, who is a Liberian man. He goes and he buys them at a deeply discounted rate. He brings them to Liberia. He pays his appropriate taxes on them. He puts them on the road. He's responsible for the maintenance. And this is a private sector driven effort to solve the transportation problem. I can accept that, but not a presidential advisor bringing in two Ghanaian entrepreneurs. And I wouldn't know the basis of the negotiation. First of all, you cannot even negotiate directly with people like that. Well, there must be some kind of request for proposal, some kind of competitive bidding process to make sure that the buses that we bring in, the correct specification, their value for money, and they can be operated sustainably. These are legitimate questions. I don't know why you're getting vexed for. It's like we want Joe Barker not to succeed. How would we want Joe Barker not to succeed if I don't get light at my age? I don't get good water. It would decrease my life expectancy. So if Joe Barker succeeds and bring in public transportation for the people who work for me, they will get to work on time. So which nationalistic Liberian wants a Liberian president to fail? I haven't seen that question yet. But we can disagree on the approach and methodology to solving the problem. And when we disagree upon that, you can't say, I'm unpatriotic, I'm not nationalistic, I want President Barker to fail. No Liberian I know. Even Joe Weah doesn't want Joe Barker to fail. That's all I have to say. I'm done.
That mean that as a do friend, the main person as a doing all. That mean that's a teaching. I don't mind that you can see that you can talk Tabata as it do.
So does that mean why you say that?
Know nothing.
I mean, we know why you're on. It will not work.
What?
So let's get back on track. I want to say, Uncle Sam, thank you. It's 7:11. Mame, let's try to close this show, and I will start with you, Mame. The buses split to 2016. 2016, when it was presented to the government of Ghana. Okay, if you look on one of those buses, it said 2016. The 16 stands for the year. Okay, we are not saying it's a bad thing on a grade to bring in buses. No, not at all. Our country needs transport. Seriously, we do. I can also state here for the record that the Minister Sally Tyler, had nothing to do with this thing, because Glennie was talking about the transport minister. There's no involvement, no engagement with Sally Tyler as a ministry that we should bring these buses, and they have not made any commitment to this company. So the bigger picture here, Glennie, is we need to talk to Madela Cooper, her interest.
So how is she involved? How is she not the transport minister?
And that's why everything is shifting. The transport minister, right, is not involved. These things came as samples. Somebody say, oh, let's try to arm twist the president's hand. Let's put Sylvester Graceville outside. Let's bring in Charles Snyder. Let's bring in Dr. Corner and the rest of them and say, yes, buses are coming. But if you look, if you follow through with the conversation, 250 of those buses park in Ghana. Park in Ghana, spare parts is issue, maintenance issue, and they're covering them with different covers. If those are the buses they are bringing in Liberia Glendy, then we're in trouble. As much as Mohammed said the president wants to take care of this issue because Joe have messed it up, but I think we should be very careful because we're settled for every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and it will destroy our country. To you, Mohammed, please, let's close the show, sir.
We will close to assure our people that the government is currently working to get public transport service back in the hands of the NTA. The approach of the Weah administration was basically to destroy public institutions and empower individuals and use those individuals as power brokers. Whether it is at the NTA to destroy over 60 buses, burn down the institution, and leave public transportation in the hands of yellow buses owned by partisans of the CDC, or whether it was with LEC, where politicians were donating current when LEC were not effective, whether it was with water and sewer, when people who were selling jerry cans of water were the ones dominating the sector, and now water and sewer. This administration, President Bouakai, is committed to solving that problem specifically with the National Transit Authority. Buses will be brought into town, they will be affordable, and it will provide efficient services to our people. What you saw yesterday, few people believe that this vendor is the best, and they are promoters of the vendor. I make no claim about whether they got financial interest or not, but I know that they're promoting this vendor. They want this vendor to get a contract. It is their right to do so if they think that it is the best deal for the country. However, we disagree with their approach to both those their way to create a scene at the executive mansion and put pressure, public pressure on the president. It was wrong. It was inappropriate. It's a bad business practice to have done what it did. Let it allow the process to go on, and the president and the government will select an entity to solve the transportation mess that was inherited. The government has signed no agreement with them. And Uncle Sam, stop making ordinary water out of river. There is no agreement between the government of Liberia and these people. Absolutely not. The government is in fact putting in safeguards to prevent bringing into the country failed buses. The government putting in safeguards to ensure that buses that come to the country are able to serve the people well. There is no agreement. So stop making unnecessary scene out of it. That's how it will end. Stop making scene out of it. Government get no commitment with the people. Now somebody making that advertisement. You can't make an advertisement. People see it. It doesn't
yeah,
make
Mandela Cooper that. Go talk to Mandela Cooper. Go talk to Mandela Cooper. Call Mandela Cooper.
Mandela Cooper is not the government of Liberia.
They were there. I was not there.
Mandela Cooper is not the government of Liberia.
And go tell
Let me ask you a question.
Mandela Cooper is not the government of Liberia. You should know that. That should not be coming from you, Uncle Sam.
Let me ask you a question. Who's the government of Liberia? Who?
The government of Liberia in this case, the government of Liberia is, if the government of Liberia is entering into an agreement of such nature, the NTA, which is the sector agency responsible for public transportation, will be the one signing an agreement. If the agreement is above certain threshold, it will go to the legislature for ratification. When it's rectified, it will go to President Bouakai to sign. That constitutes the government of Liberia.
When you have the Minister of State standing, when you have the political advisor to the president, the economic advisor to the president,
correct,
the ambassador at large to the president,
the minister of transport there.
But hold on now, I'm going to name them all. Then you want to tell us that it's not the government of Liberia representing the government of Liberia? That the government of Liberia representing the government of Liberia.
So, Senator,
who actually looking for to be in the photo?
So what I said was, and it is the fact that it's
not a fact. It's your fact. It's not a fact.
It's my fact. My fact is, and you can't disprove it, there is no agreement between the government of Liberia and that particular entity. That entity came to make advertisement.
Well, my argument to you, mommy, why you beat on Uncle Sam when you say government of Liberia? Government of Liberia means these people that are standing there taking picture with two buses.
Assistant minister.
Okay?
Assistant minister.
That government of Liberia.
But stand on, don't fall in that thing. Stand on.
What if I don't fall in that thing?
Let me tell you something. You see,
but anyway, the brother say, Una, you can
we gotta be careful. Somebody will say there and say, even an assistant minister of the government of Liberia. What kind of thing is that?
Yeah.
Mama, in a capacity that on behalf of the government, wait. The political advisor said the president should have been here, but he engaged in other activities, so therefore we're representing the government. And we brought to you two old bosses to tell you that 250 of them coming again. Then you say you want to separate government and Liberia from the other one. Maybe I disagree with you on this one, my brother.
So we get 2 weeks. We get 2 weeks to prove whether what Mandela Kopa say represent the government of Liberia or not. We'll come back on the show and have the discussion. 2 weeks.
All right, no problem. I said though.
Yeah, sure. So I just to end, because we are closing now, I will be in Liberia on Friday morning to ensure I grace the city. I'm going to come out Monday. I will be in Liberia on Friday to ensure I grace the CDC program on Friday evening at the party headquarters, and we want for every citizen to turn up to ensure we have fun. So there are a few things I wanted to go through here very quickly. We all know that the president of Senegal visited Freetown and visited Guinea. Why it is true Liberia has a Senegalese presidential advisor, that man didn't even care to stop in Liberia. Sometimes we want to wonder what kind of government we have now. And then going to the next thing, we thank God you just posted something up there. You know, there is this talking point from a class where they post somebody will point in a chat room, then all the UP bonnet, the Baka Bojo can talk. Hey, Baka dominate, we are dominating the country. The boss is poor, and that's poor. The government of Liberia executive branch received 41.3 million for its 100 days deliverable. Among that, 300,000 was marked out for the National Transit Authority. As you can see here, they said to buy spare parts in order to repair 15 buses that were down. And according to them, the end of this should have been April. We are in June right now. They received 300,000. No spare part was bought.
So hold on, I said though. I said, let interrupt you. I beg you, I said though. And that's why we got a military man from the gray here. They say if you want to zoom in on it, and maybe I have to do it better. I beg you, I said though. I really want to hear from Glenny. Your caller didn't call me, Glenny. I was trying to tell you.
They called.
What's the area code?
From Ghana, I think Ghana now 234 or something.
No, they didn't call me, Mama. I got my phone with
They just told me that they called.
Okay, so let me say this real quick, Mommy. This is huge. This is big. 300,000. Procurement and technical department. 300,000. Repaired and make operational 15. Broken down buses. From January 23rd, a day after Joseph Boakai took over, 1 day after, to April 30th, 2024. 300,000, Mame. Can you call your friend and brother, Salif Tyler, to tell us, or can you call for to tell us exactly what happened with the 300,000? As I continue, I just want to bring Mame attention to this.
Yeah, thank you. And then the next
I will
one,
definitely do after him.
the next thing I would like to say, the first time in the history of Liberia's post-war governance, for Monrovia to Nimba route to be initiated by the NTA, that is currently, as I'm speaking today, the current day reality was during the term of George Weah. The first time in post-war Liberia for NTA to initiate a bus route from Maserati to Buchanan, that is currently, as we speak today, a reality, was during the term of George Weah. So it is okay to let people text you and say, just say amen, but it is different from the reality in Liberia. Call and ask how many persons have gotten in NTA buses today to go to Nimba and to also go to Buchanan. These are reality. Now let me go down. Eugene Fagon today denied the CDC usage of the Liberia broadcasting system, which I will want to believe everyone who agrees is despicable and not forgot. It is the same Eugene Fagon who was suspended by President Weah after he engaged in comments that were against every fabric of our democratic government. When the American embassy recommended his suspension, and I'm very certain with him going against free speech of our country, he rakes suspension again. Eugene Fagon should come down, use his June, change his light bulbs as a way to rebrand that area, and try to understand that LBS is a government-funded radio station. It is not a place where he becomes the judge and the Supreme Court justice to determine that a person used militancy. So, you say, so I'm the judge, I'm the big man, you're not come. That is despicable, it is foolish, and Brother Eugene should come do. My next point is the NPA. My own friend, a young man, I've always said, I don't like attacking young people because hey, I like to see young people in places. From the NPA posted today that the NPA is contributing $2 million towards the national cover, and he wanted to make it an issue. I just want to advise the brother to leave politics out of his work, do your work. We'll all be here, when you do good, we celebrate it. Forget about politics. But if you want to go that route, brother, the budget of Liberia allocates $7 million as contribution from NPA. In 6 months, if you will be...
So that 10 minutes answer was tough for?
Yeah, because I'm
when you bring NTA issue, we'll have to respond to
10
it.
minutes?
No, you were tough for 10 minutes. That's it.
You were tough for 10 minutes, I will soon finish. And also...
But you never answer, wait 1 minute. Mame, I beg you, I can't get this thing to Fadiga. I don't like him to know. Mame, can you take control of the show? I got to run. I beg you. Let me take this out. Yeah. I don't like Fadiga.
So again, the NPA contributing $2 million after 6 months towards a $7 million yearly budget. We all can agree technically you will be short for by like $3 million because the next 6 months it will be another $2 million. So this is not a great start. I think the brother needs to double up, leave politics out. You know what you were saying, 4 million, 6 years, it doesn't make no sense. It doesn't make sense at all. You have the records, go there, journalists go to LRA, go to Ministry of Finance, get the record and see. In 2018 alone, in the first 10 months, NPA contributed $3.5 million to the national budget. And, let's stop all this child display. But again, Mame, thank you for telling us the level of corruption at the executive mansion. You just told us that the presidential political advisor is the one in cahoots to defraud the Liberian people. I have no reason not to believe you. It is your government. You speak with them. You know them. We just demand transparency. It is unfortunate how we can get it. It is a shame on this government that spoke of transparency all along. That you, Mame, will today be telling us that the president political advisor is the one in corrupt mood to ensure she defrosts the Liberian economy simply because she has political power. It is unfortunate, and thank you for letting us know.
Thank you. You can go now.
So talk, hold it.
Uncle Sam?
Well, no. I'm basically done. I'm just very
I'm going to leave
happy.
because I'm coming on a call.
My
You
man,
can
just wait small, man. Don't let the puppet talk, but not much.
Yeah,
Look,
I come on call 2 minutes. All right, I'm be here for 2 minutes.
okay. Look, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow panelists, okay, you may disagree with me all you want, but you must agree that there has to be a system
Uncle
how
Sam,
we do things,
Uncle Sam,
and a
Uncle
communication
Sam,
strategy that's
Uncle Sam,
yeah.
30 seconds, please.
Yeah.
30 seconds, you will
Yes, sir.
continue. There is this information about the NTA.
Okay, so
30 seconds.
Okay.
I have on the line the deputy
Go ahead.
managing director for operation of the NTA to clarify the misinformation that Asido provided. So Noah Gibson, are you on?
Thank you, Ambula. What the Asido say?
Asido display a piece of paper that the NTA received 300,000 for spare parts, and up to now the NTA cannot account. I just want you to explain to the public, what do you know about a payment for spare part under the 100 days deliverable? Briefly, so that Uncle Sam Jackson can continue with his statement. What do you know about 300,000 for spare part, and what is the status of that payment and the spare part?
Thank you. First of all, I want to say to our fellow Liberians that I speak authoritatively as the managing director, the deputy managing director for operations, the man who runs the day-to-day affairs of that government agency or entity. So whatever I tell you, take it as a face value. The NTA in the first place did not receive this morning in its account. This money was made available in the budget, 300,000, as he rightly stated. And it was an agreement that we signed with a local vendor, one West Coast something. But the name begins with West Coast. The agreement states that they will pre-finance the purchasing of the spare parts. When they shall have brought the spare parts in the country, the physical auditing unit of the finance ministry will come and does the inspection. Once those spare parts are properly inspected and it is clearly verified that these were what we agreed to be brought into country, we agree upon, then the government of Liberia will make available the payment to the vendor as reimbursement through the central bank. So it's a bank-to-bank transaction. NTA is not even receiving a dime. We're not even seeing that money. It's something that the finance ministry still has in their possession through the central bank, and they will be making it available to the vendor through reimbursement when they shall pre-finance the contract. And as we speak, the vendor is already in India, New Delhi, along with our chief mechanic, one Sidiki Kuyate, packaging the spare parts, because he has to go there to ensure that the proper spare parts are identified so they can go and take the wrong one when they shall return to the country, then we run into something different. So he is there making sure that the proper spare parts are identified, and I can guarantee you, fellow Liberians, in a matter of 2 weeks from now, the spare parts will be in the country. We will invite the press. The physical auditing unit of the finance ministry will go there to verify it, and the money will be paid to them through reimbursement. We did not receive a dime as being wrongly insinuated.
Thank you.
Let me let Isaac Told to know that the mess they made us to inherit, we are striving and we're progressing to see into it that that mess is completed, clean, properly. You left a lot of arrears over there. You were owing 21 contractors. We met 5 bosses. Out of the 5 bosses,
We were able to pay all the 21 contractors. We were able to procure a generator. We were able to make the mechanic properly attire and pour them safety gear. And as I speak to you, we added 3 additional buses on the 5 to make it 8 from the almost 30 buses you broke down that you could not repair and left them languishing over there in ruins. So, fellow Liberians, we will repair 15 buses out of the spare parts are coming. A dime we haven't received. So please, if you want to give the information, give the right information. And I can guarantee you we will transform NTA and we will make you proud for dancing in the poo-poo water on September 17th. We will not fail you. Don't be carried away by any cheap political gossip.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you very much. That was the voice of the Deputy Managing Director for Operations of the NTA, clarifying the misinformation as usual that ASIC and other people will spew around in an attempt to present the government as a government not working for their people. So, Uncle Sam Jackson, you can go ahead.
So, first of all, Noah did not dispel any misinformation. ASIC put up that 300,000 have been appropriated to the NTA to buy spare parts. The modality that is being used to finance it, either through a letter of credit, through bank to bank, through people traveling to India, is not a part of the equation. ASIC was right.
No, he was not right. He was not right. So I will not sit there too and allow you to misinform the public that ASIC did. ASIC said they will have procured the spare parts in April. Up to now, they have procured no spare parts. That was his allegation. He said
exactly. So the money was appropriated. The money was appropriated. The modality, methodology, and the approach in financing the spare parts, ASIC has nothing to do with it. If the NTA is not sophisticated enough to open a bankable instrument called a letter of credit with inspection criteria in there by a survey agent in India and dispatches 2 people there, it is their fault. But as you are a banker, as you know, you can open a letter of credit, which is a bankable instrument, requesting or ordering those spare parts with a purchase order and having a survey agent review the spare parts in India. That's how it's done internationally. You want to argue with me about it? It's up to you. But let me go to my second thing, because you don't have the expertise in international banking to question my authority on that. But let me just go further. Okay.
I will question your authority.
Let's be very clear. But I'm not waiting. You can contradict me, but anybody who's listening, who understands international finance, will know that you don't need to dispatch people to another country to go inspect spare parts there. There are survey agents.
Uncle Sam,
let me finish.
No, but you say you finish. I said go to the next topic. I will dispute what I will provide. I will provide good reason why. So, but
yeah, Marvin, you can provide good things to your
we can make the show between you and myself.
Gallery out there, the unsophisticated people who listen to you will not understand international finance and know about letters of credit, UCP 600. They don't know about it. They will listen to you. But the sophisticated people who are listening to me will know that you don't need to dispatch 2 people to India to inspect spare parts there. They could have been done by international inspection agent. Okay, that's just be very clear about that. So listen, I said, Mommy, y'all bring your 300 buses from Ghana. Y'all bring your used buses. Me, the fancy boy here, I am not going to be on the cheering squad. Y'all can put an AFF band. Y'all can bring Grover Bush girls to march the buses into Monrovia. I'm not impressed. Those are used buses. They are against our public procurement process. They should not be done on a single source basis. There should be competitive bidding on it. There was no competitive bidding on it. And then to have a senior official of the government of Liberia, you have accused her that she has an interest in it. It smells bad. It smells very, very bad. So if you want to talk to anybody about those buses, speak to Grace Bay and speak to Mandela Cooper. I'm out of it. You're not hearing my mouth on that bus anymore. Have a good evening.
Fadiga?
Folks like Uncle Sam will always have something negative to say. It's not
There you go.
surprising.
There you go. There you go.
They will always peddle these falsehoods because that's what they need to excite the base. For them, it's politics. And this president has said that there won't be no business as usual. There are so many things we've heard tonight that nobody has provided any proof. Mandela Cooper was very clear that these buses were on trial. If the Liberian people like them and they are good, we know it's not for the president. The president has fleet of cars that he used. It's not for Mandela Cooper either. She has her own car. Thank God I have some cars that I'm using here. It's for the ordinary Liberian people that cannot afford the everyday transportation. Those are the people that need those buses. And they will make the decision. So they don't care about Uncle Sam or Acid Jackson coming here to play politics. You can only play politics if people are not doing the right thing. And that's the difference between this administration and past administration. They lie their way through things. They carry on this VIM project. It was all charade all through the 6 years. They were going around here stealing, acting that they were the only guys in town. Now that we have seen that this administration is putting the people first, this administration is doing everything they can to alleviate some of the plight of the people. They don't want it. They had a chance, they blew it. Now they want everybody else to fail because that's the only way they strive. Okay, I'm not saying don't ask the hard question. I'm not saying doing something, but you cannot come here and speculate. A guy that came here called David tried to sound Ghanaian. Later on, the real Liberian accent came out, praising Acid Doa, this is my comrade. We know how these guys come. They come in all kinds of form. Look, you can clearly see through what he was saying. This guy act like he has some authority over it. It was wild speculation. Show me that you spoke to some executive. Show me some document. Show me something. Convince us. You cannot come on a national platform and I blame Stanton for giving that guy credence. That someone just come here and just say anything. Any Ghanaian can come. Anybody can just pick up telephone and come and say anything they want to say, and then we believe it. This guy never presented anything to prove that these are old buses. The buses, based on what we were told and what I saw today, they have a lot of good feature. It seems to be working. It drove from Ghana here. You have to have a very good car to drive from Ghana all the way. Ordinary cars don't just drive from here to Ghana. You just don't pull those kind of things there. So let us stop being very pessimistic and be hopeful for once. Let good things come to help our people. We cannot always play politics around our people. Our people need these things. Real people are dying to enjoy these things. We should not always just be about politics. It's time to move on and put this country together. I will send it back to you.
Thank you, Fadiga. Is it Glendy or Conan Remy?
I mean, I can go.
Okay.
I think it was a very interesting show. I still want to say that it is the government's responsibility to inform its citizens about what's going on in the country. And if the government does not do that, people will continue to speculate because then we have a problem with transparency. And what's happening here with this buses issue is clear. If the government would have informed people on what the issue was, whether these buses are on a test run or whatever they are, then we wouldn't be speculating. But that information, that information is not provided. Prior to the interview today, we had nothing. I listened to the interview. Prior to this interview, there was nothing given. So when people started speculating and coming, yes, there was an interview given today, but that's after the fact. The buses arrived when? The buses were already in country before you come in to explain to your citizens that these buses, this is what is going. We should have had that information before. I mean, I want us to be, yes, we understand we want the government to succeed, but there are some things that you just have to do correctly. And you have to be able, if you are a progressive government, you have to do things correctly. You have to be transparent no matter what. You have to do that, because when you don't do that, then people speculate. And that's not good for a new government who's been in power for 5 months. We like that there will be buses. And I like what Mama is saying. The government is doing all it can do to ensure that the issue of transportation is alleviated, and that people will have transportation to go to the different places, but they have to do it correctly. And then if this is just a trial, then open it up to other Liberians too, who have the opportunity to bring buses. Let them go try their own too in the country. We can't just subject it to one group of people and say, okay, let's do this. I don't know what the deals are. I want to know what was told to us today. But I think it's important. There are so many other things that we haven't had the time to ask about. I want to maybe tomorrow. The DEA, I don't know if the investigation is going on. People, we don't know what's going on, whether the people are still suspended, whether the suspension is over. There are other things. The senators, also, we have not heard. The representative, the issues we've been talking about with them. No official position from the House of Representatives on the retreat and what has been happening. Some of these things, when they happen, the government has to be able to address them so that the issue cannot continue and people cannot continue to be to interpret things as they would like. I want to close by sending a birthday shout out to Justice, and this note was sent by his mother. She said, a blessed 20th to the last love of my very existence, the child that makes parenting so easy, and I am counted among blessed women. Happy birthday, my Yang Yang, my Noko Papa, my Tampe, and my last best thing. This is from Angela, from Angie to Justice. Happy birthday, Justice. All right, thank you.
Gonna add Remy.
So we inherited a sector that was devastated, burned down some of the infrastructure, and some of the equipment that were there perished. And we have a budget, national budget, that has yet to pass. Remind me if I'm wrong on that. And they made $300,000 available to revive the sector that is so badly needed. And then Mr. Jackson is saying that you hire an international expert at whose expense. Maybe Mr. Jackson.
I never said international expert. I never said that.
You said no, my brother.
I said open a bankable instrument.
That's what you said.
No. You said
and use a survey agent to inspect the goods.
No. You
instead
said
of sending
an international agent expert.
That's what I said. Don't lie on me.
No, that's what you said. You said the government.
I said instead of paying people way to go there, you need to. Don't lie on me.
All right. So those individuals who are there,
me.
Those individuals who went, who are undertaking this mission are paid for that. Those are the people we hired, and they're going to do their job.
It's expensive to get that done. No, it's not. It's expensive to do that.
Sam, let me talk. It's not expensive because you know what? It's part of the 300,000. It probably costing nothing.
Yeah, right.
We want an expert to go there. So, but you see, sometimes when we strive for cash, we have to learn how to manage. That's the difference between the last government and this government. And I can tell you, in as much as people come here to think when they throw the kitchen sink, false narrative, that will bring Mr. Weir back to power, it's a false sense of hope. And I can guarantee you can sing all you want to sing. You can sing above your voice. Mr. Weir, the people have tested him. He got nothing to offer Liberia. So nobody's going to bring that young man back to power. Let him just move on with his life. And the like of Isaac Doe and others, I feel for them because you know what? Our country deserves better. That mistake we made with Mr. Weir, hopefully we don't bring that back, that shame and damnation upon us. But let me say this. Ambassador Boakai, in as much as people think that he's an older man, you can take advantage of him. That's one of the most savviest person, that exists today. He didn't go down to go meet those people, those bosses, because you can tell me, Ambassador Weir, Boakai something. It may seem like you lowering him to your bait, but he has a head over his shoulder. Unlike his predecessor, he's going to think and reflect on some of these things. And I can guarantee you that, to revive the public sector is so much it should be in the heart of any viable Liberian leader, especially when it comes to transportation, because our people need to get around. When we grew up in Monrovia, then I think it was Monrovia Transit Authority, MTA. Not sure whether that sector has changed to National Transit Authority today. But I can say it was one of the most reliable sectors we had, beside the holy transportation we used to have. But Flint could carry anywhere around the town. So we can get back to that level. And I'm pretty sure the ambassador is thinking about this, hardly. To come and believe that people around him will bedazzle their way through and that sector will remain dominant. No. Everything the ambassador does, in my opinion these days, I think he's reflecting, because he got one shot at everything. You see how many hyenas are standing by for him to fail. I can guarantee you he sleeps with those kinds of hyenas on his mind to say, I'll prove those people wrong. And, kudos to him. He's doing well. Liberia is broke, and any money we spend, we must spend it wisely. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. And to Uncle Sam, I will respond to you because people are listening. And when you, present yourself as an international banker who knows everything, I got no reason to question your ability. I know you, but this is what I will tell you. You bring politics into your profession, and because of that, it makes people to see you differently. The NTA that you're calling on to take letter of credit and procure internationally doesn't have a credit rating. It's indebted. It's indebted. You just listen to the deputy managing director. The NTA you calling on to use letter of credit as an instrument to procure internationally doesn't have credit record. Ran 66 buses free of charge. They gave it to you free of charge. You ran it down the drain. You indebted to over 25 vendors. You cannot pay your employees. Which bank in the world, besides maybe the one you ran, will look at such an institution and give you a letter of credit of over 300,000? Which bank can do that? The NTA you inherited, who can give that NTA 300,000 letter of credit? It doesn't have credit record. It doesn't have performance record. When we gave letter of credit to businesses when we were in the bank, we do it based on your financial statements, based on your successful business history. This institution ran 66 free buses down to the ground, burned the NTA office, all her vendors, cannot pay her vendors, cannot pay her employees. Who will look at such an entity and give them 300,000 letter of credit, and you proposing letter of credit as an option to financing?
But the vendor is pre-financing. The vendor is pre-financing. So that's credit. The vendor is pre-financing.
So because you said bank.
So the vendor is giving them credit.
Wait for me.
The vendor is giving them credit.
Because the vendor. Excuse me.
Just go on.
Excuse me. No bank. The vendor is holding the commodity as a collateral. So when the vendor comes to the country with the commodity in your hand, the government will assess it. The vendor will have the commodity. The government will pay before the vendor can release.
But the vendor is pre-financing. They're granting credit to NTA.
That's not how letter of credit works.
So you're wrong that the NTA is not crediting nothing, because the vendor is crediting NTA.
The vendor has. Uncle Sam Jackson, don't disrupt my thought.
Uncle Sam, you finished speaking on that man.
Yes, I was talking about
leave it alone.
The vendor has.
Can you let him speak? Let Mama speak.
But he just keeps.
No, but that is a start now. We gotta go. They have another show coming on.
The vendor has in its possession the commodity. Letter of credit doesn't work like that. The vendor has.
But he's granting credit to the NTA.
So Stop misleading people. The best approach
He's
the NTA
purchasing
could
in
use,
advance. It
the
is a
best
credit he's
approach the
bringing to the
NTA could use
NTA.
is what they
I will
use.
not let you misinform the Liberian
Sam,
people.
demonstrate some emotional
but
intelligence,
you
man.
already spoke on that, mommy.
Demonstrate some emotional intelligence.
And I
But
will
we
not
gotta move
allow
on
you to
Demonstrate some
misinform
emotional
to
intelligence.
misinform the Liberian
What's
people.
the-
You are
My
not
brother, demonstrate some
Nelson, please
emotional
come on the
intelligence.
show, Nelson, so you can mute Uncle Sam.
It comes with age. Demonstrate emotional intelligence, man.
No, I'm a small boy. I stay.
Nelson,
Yeah,
come
that
and
has to
mute
be
Uncle
heavy
Sam
now.
so that we can close the show,
Giving up
please.
the key, my man.
What that producer kind and the show. Who will credit? Who we're gonna bang with issue NTA?
Mommy, you
But
are right.
the vendor crediting the NTA.
Because the vendor is in possession of the commodity.
Yes,
vendor has
so
to
they're
be possession
crediting
of all the
NTA.
commodities.
They're crediting NTA.
They're not crediting NTA.
I'm not saying you're disrupting this show today. We gotta end and go home.
The vendor not crediting NTA.
It's the whole point.
Yeah,
to
okay,
disrupt,
well,
that's all.
let me finish. Okay,
That-
bye.
That all
Mommy,
Uncle Sam wanna do
please
is
end
disrupt.
your thought. Mommy,
Let the
go ahead
producer
and your
come on.
thought, y'all.
Let the
What,
producer.
Nelson?
The vendor is only assured that when you bring the commodity, we'll buy it. We'll give you the assurance that when you bring the commodity, we'll pay. The government will pay you when you bring the commodity in town. That's the assurance the vendor has to go and bring the commodity. Letter of credit is completely different. It's based on your credit rating. It's based on your credit record. The NTA was ran down the ground, destroyed. Who will look at such an entity and just credit them? This vendor is going to bring the thing in town. You pay them before they deliver it to you. That's not the form of credit we're talking about.
Thank you, everybody. Nelson,
Yeah.
take it over.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Colonel Gray, and I think it's been a very great show. And firing one. Uncle Sam gone.
Uncle Sam don't have. I hope that man not putting hands on that 20-year-old woman.
Look at you.
Because I gotta get temper, man, you know. As a man, you know, just swallow things up. That makes you a man, you know what I mean? But this issue about like bro becoming between George Weah and Joe Buckeye, it gets to me so bad. Look, the country will move forward with or without any one individual Liberian. So we have a country to rescue, man, to save, and that country should be the one who else should go back to and enjoy. I could care less who makes that to be the case, my brother. But good show tonight. Hopefully you're gonna have your show, right?
Yeah, our show is coming up in about 5 minutes from now.
Yeah, I
The
haven't seen your
latest
show for a minute, man. Every time I retire home, I got something else to do. But yeah, well, good luck, man. Good luck on the show tonight, my man.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
And
What's
thank
the discussion tonight?
Oh yeah, we have a couple of guests that will be coming on. We thought to get Senta on tonight. You know, they released a report about the president's 100 days deliverables, an assessment of the government 100 days performance. And the health workers in Lofa County have abandoned the hospitals as well. So we'll be talking to them, you know. So it's going to be a great show. And
Well, sometimes when Ambassador Buckeye's detractors are talking, it sounds like you've been in power for 6 years already. It's not just 5 months, man. 5-6 months. Probably got a long way to go with this. Well, people are surcharging the moment. Just 5-6 months, just to put things together. We don't even have a budget yet. That's an enforceable instrument. So we're living on pay as you go. You know, that method. But anyway, I'll let you go, my brother. Thank you so much.
thank you, sir. Thank you, Colonel Gray. Have a good night. Yeah. Well, folks, that's how I would like to end up tonight. I want to say thanks to all of you for being here with us on this edition of Spoon Talk. As you know, this is Liberia's premier talk show on radio and online. This is where you get authentic information. And thanks to all of you across Liberia, always following on the different frequencies, Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1, Super 95.5. Thanks to our partner radio stations as well. And they're always relaying the program thanks to Trust FM in Bomi County, thanks to Premier FM in Bon County, Gibi FM in Margibi County, and of course, Trend Radio in Grand Crew County. And thanks to our folks online. As usual, we're always there online, streaming live on YouTube. Spoon Talk Live is our YouTube handle. We're there on Facebook, Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV. Many thanks to all of you for always joining us on these different social media handles and across Radio Land as we bring Liberia right at your doorstairs, at your home, in your car, and just wherever. Thanks for joining us tonight on Spoon Talk. You can make up time to be here with us tomorrow. The CEO and the rest of the team will be here with another great show. You can get set that you will get nothing less than the best tomorrow. Until then, have a good night. I'm Nelson Collier. Coming up shortly is the late night show, the late night politics on Spoon. We'll be on this very dial in less than 5 minutes from now. So until then, have a good night and bye-bye for now.
Africa. Just to spoon, you know. If the children cry